March and April. So if those have an agenda, we just indicate that the minutes for the month of May will also be included. Also on the agenda, it indicates that there's a vacancy in the vice president's position. There is no vacancy in that category. Miguel Vargas is our vice president. And so it's just a correction on the agenda. And there's a few other items that were questioned on how the agenda was set, but those will probably be addressed a little bit later. So we do have quorum, and item number 3 is closed. Item number 4 gives an opportunity for the stakeholders, which is you guys in the public, to address the board with your concerns, your issues, some of the programs and events that you'd like us to serve you as a neighborhood council. So what I do is I usually offer 3 minutes for those in the public to address us, and since I do have a few public comment cards here, I'll start with these first, and then after that I'll take by show of hands. The first card I have here is for Bruce Wilson. Bruce Wilson, sir, we give you 3 minutes for public comment.
These will be on the 2 non-agenda.
Yes, that's correct.
They'll be on the
non-agenda.
non-agenda. Okay, so I'll try to do a 2-for real quick. First one is, I have to point out that on your website that you have, let me see if I can get my copy here so I get the title right. Can everybody hear me okay? LA 32 Neighborhood Council Standing Rules, which lays out the guidelines of general behavior. And I think stakeholders that plan on participating in this and board members review these. Because last couple of meetings I've noticed some real breaches of these standing orders. In particularly, speaking over somebody when they have the floor. Big no-no. Anybody who reads Roger's Rules of Orders, which we don't have to do, but we can take the chair's lead on that, is if you have a point of order, that indicates that there's a serious breach of parliamentary order or procedure, something that has to be addressed immediately. When somebody has the floor and they're speaking, that usually doesn't happen, except in the case of extreme racist remarks, hate speech, something that's way above and beyond the forum. There's also questions of information, and those should be brought up by people raising their hand and waiting for somebody to finish before the chair can recognize that person and say, what's on your mind? Okay, now for the lighter-hearted part of the commentary. Alhambra Road here, and it is road, not avenue, correct?
Alhambra Road.
Alhambra Road, okay. Recently there was somebody run over by a car early in the morning hours, and there has always been complaints about speeding and inattention, it's not well lit and all that. What I would like the council to consider is a motion to speak to Councilman Huizar, to speak to LA Department of Transportation, and see about the installation of marked intersections and stop signs. Signals are very expensive to maintain and install, and a lot of people will speed up to beat a light. So we're kind of defeating the purpose of slowing people down. With stop signs, however, people generally have the behavior of slowing down and looking out for the cop that's going to issue them a ticket. Even though they kind of go through a rolling California stop and continue through without a full stop, still, they slow down, they're looking out to see who's going to issue them a ticket. So I would recommend that this council issue this sort of suggestion.
Thank you very much, Bruce. I'll give you details, not specifically on that, but relating to the Robert's Rules of Order, I'm glad the stakeholder brought it up, Bruce Wilson. I'm very familiar with the Robert's Rules of Order, and actually as president, I'm going to be more strict, more forceful, and more, more pointed towards the Robert's Rules of Order. And it's proper that the board members be familiar with them as well. And then the second issue regarding the safety, sir, you could address those questions to the council member staff. There's been a recent update, and they could give you the update because they will be making a reconfiguration of Alhambra Road probably within the next month or two. Yes, Tom Williams?
Information only. It's Alhambra Avenue. Alhambra Road is in the city of Alhambra Avenue.
That's part of Nelson Reno.
Yes, that's
Or
correct.
Nelson Reno.
Alhambra Road
It
is
then
now.
changes to Mission Road at the Alhambra boundary.
That's fine, you're not gonna take away my birthday for this mistake, are you? Thank you, Tom.
I have a card, a public comment card from Manny Hernandez. Is it public comment period, sir?
Yes.
Yes, okay, at this time we'll give you 3 minutes as well. Manny Hernandez.
First of all, I agree with the last gentleman that spoke. We had executive meeting minutes from this, place everything on this agenda for the public to see. Do we? Yes or no? It's a simple answer. At the executive meeting,
I will-
were the minutes taken to put all these things in the agenda?
What I'm gonna do, sir, is allow you to speak for 3 minutes, and then I can probably provide an answer, but I don't want to interrupt your public comment period.
Thank you. Because if you don't, then you're in violation. I want to see the minutes before you guys go on with this agenda. Second of all, I think it's time, like this gentleman spoke, either get a parliamentarian or we get a sergeant farmer. Because all you people on this board, I'm sorry, you're the most dysfunctional board I've ever seen. You're worse than my 11-year-old godson and his little friends. You all are like dysfunctional with a few people that are not. But the rest of you are very dysfunctional. Miguel, I left you a message. I'm going to address you. For you to call me to get a watchdog committee started to take care of these problems. You have people that are not here on time. And why do we get here on time and none of you board members get here on time? It's supposed to be a 6 o'clock meeting, not at your pleasure. I mean, if we get our ruckus here before 6, then the rest of you get here before 6. That's why you were elected to these positions. You were not elected to these positions because nobody wanted them. You guys took chance of getting elected. What's wrong with getting here on time and starting this meeting on time like it's supposed to be? In the last couple of meetings I've been to, they're the most dysfunctional meetings. And I use the word dysfunctional with capital letters. You have one president on this board. You don't have 20 presidents. Board members interrupting the president. You know, if you don't like it, the position you're in, then leave. Get somebody else to do it. Because it's time to clean up this board. And it's an embarrassment to our community. It's a real embarrassment when we come to this meeting and you're all dysfunctional. Everybody doesn't respect the president the way you should be respected. And if you don't like it, then quit and get somebody else to fill the position. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you so much, Manny, and we still have a few seconds left, or perhaps a moment, but to answer your question, we do not have minutes of the executive committee meeting. It is on video though, but no specific minutes.
Can we see the video before you take any actions on it?
Absolutely, let me ask you, has the video been uploaded? It has not been uploaded yet, but.
Well,
that
then
will
you
be
shouldn't
conducted.
take any action on any new business until the rest of us see the minutes or the video. It's as simple as A, B, and C.
Thank you, Manny, for your comments, and I totally agree with you. This board has not been acting professionally lately, and this is not in response to you. I want to express this to my fellow colleagues. We are to be here on time. We have to serve the stakeholders. It is not the pleasure of serving ourselves. I'm committed, I do show up on time, and I run this meeting by this book right here. Familiarize yourselves with the book, and there's plenty room for improvement. I don't want to be saying that people don't know what they're doing, but listening to the stakeholders, it's apparent, and I'm glad that you're bringing it to our attention because I need to hear this so I can make sure that when I address the board, that it's just not me speaking. I'm speaking on behalf of the public. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
I have another card from Nikki Jackson, it looks like, or Johnson, but I believe it's Nikki Jackson.
Jackson and Johnson vie for a place in most common last names in the country.
We'll give you 3 minutes as well, Nikki.
I came to earlier, I think it was a board executive meeting. Right now, the city is working on the general plan, and they have been doing so and not allowing the public to participate. They're doing that as a series of work group meetings, and there are certain people they invite, and if you aren't invited, you haven't been let in. Several neighborhood councils did write letters to City Hall and to the planning department, and the mayor, asking that these be transparent meetings, that the public be able to come in and participate in writing our general plan. Today, we were allowed into a meeting on the open space element, but we were unable to secure any kind of commitment from the presiding person there, Ken Bernstein from the department, that they would continue to allow the public in, or even that they would give us notice of when these meetings occur in the future. So we'd like to ask your neighborhood council to please write a letter and ask that these plan meetings and work meetings be open to the public. I really think it's important that the public and our neighborhood councils participate. We were promised that we would participate, and it's not happening. I'm with the Coalition to Preserve LA, and we're going to hold some symposiums, and I'll let you know as we get those put together about this. And on the 17th, and it's on your website, and thank you very much for putting it there, we will be holding a workshop on helping people learn to do a little bit more about participating in planning and participating in various things. Mr. Tommy here held one for us during the election, and it was very popular. It was the most popular thing, one of the most popular things we did. We helped people with CEQA, and they were very appreciative. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Mickey. For those stakeholders out there is a website that you can go to the city and ask for early notification services through the Department of Rec and Parks, Police Department, Sanitation Department, Sports and Recs, Planning Department, City Council meetings. So anything that you may be interested in, you just sign your name up, and every time there's
No,
an
they don't
agenda,
put them on.
they will send it out to the
They
DNS.
are not listing these meetings anywhere. They are not putting them out.
Okay, what I'd like to do then is probably suggest that, and you did come to the executive committee though, that we put that specifically on the agenda at the
Yes.
executive committee meeting, then our board can take an action much like you asked us to instill that the city initiate a policy like
Yeah,
that.
they're not putting them anywhere.
There's another public comment here from Paul Mackley from Shakespeare Center of LA. Paul Mackley.
Hi, my name is Paul Mackley, and thank you for letting me speak. I apologize for running. I don't need this. 6 years of voice training. I apologize for coming in late. Google told me to allow 19 minutes, and it actually took me 55 coming from our center downtown. I'm here from the Shakespeare Center, and we're going to be presenting a production of Macbeth at the Lummis House in September. We have proclaimed 2017 to be the year of Macbeth, and we're sponsoring productions of Macbeth around Los Angeles, one of Shakespeare's greatest works. I don't know if you're familiar with it, but if you're not, this would be an opportunity for you to become familiar with it. The Parks Department has been so kind as to let us use this historic house for an on-site productions. We have a 30-year history of doing on-site Shakespeare. I don't know if you're familiar with the Julius Caesar at City Hall, but that was us about 10 years ago. And I made a handout here for the board, but I have a few extras for anybody else who wants one. And let me take one just a second. And this, the cover page is information about the project. And the second page is a picture of the Lummis House and some information about it. And you can see how it looks like a Scottish castle, which inspired the director. Then we have an article in the Downtown News about the year of Macbeth and several other projects we're doing. We were lucky enough to recently get the front page of the calendar section in the LA Times, so I've reprinted that article here, and it's about our VETS program. We train vets in technical theater in conjunction with East LA College, and then we pay them to run our shows. And then I also have some information here on our youth program. We hire youth in the summer, and we actually pay them minimum wage to produce an adaptation of a Shakespeare play. And this is a program that's been honored by the White House and received some other national recognitions. So the purpose of this Macbeth is going to be aimed towards students, and we're busing in all the students from the Northeast high schools and middle schools, and bring them in free of charge. And we're also supplying the teachers at the participating school with teacher training, free of charge, with a man named Louis Fantasia. He's a colleague of ours, and he's an internationally renowned Shakespearean scholar, so this is a great opportunity. So in order to produce this, we are going to the neighborhood councils to ask you for help in funding our production. I'm approaching 8 different neighborhood councils who are joining the Lummis House, and we're also going to be approaching Council District 1, Council District 14, and the county as well, and trying to get a little bit of money from each. I'm here today just to introduce the project to myself and sort of kick off the process. Each neighborhood council works a little bit differently, so I wanted to find out who I have to give the forms to, all of that kind
I'll
of
assist you
stuff.
right now, Paul. Thank you so much for submitting this, and your 3 minutes are up. I'd
Okay.
like to ask the chair of the Arts and Culture Committee, which is in the back, please come to the table. We want all directors to sit at the table.
I'm eating right now, thank you. You
I
have-
understand. But what it is at the moment, some board members did just leave, and we didn't have a seated quorum.
I'm eating, I need to.
I understand.
Thank you.
But this is for you, okay? So I'm going to put it right here beside you.
Point
of
I'm
order.
asking that she agendize this item on behalf of the stakeholder.
Thank you.
Point of order, Mr. President.
I can't. be
I'm
taking
sorry,
it
this
from
is a
the
point of
public.
order. You're a board member, you should sit up front.
Mr.
It's very
Hernandez, Mr. Hernandez. Right.
It's rude, it's
I understand
disrespect.
that.
We don't get to
She
respect
knows
the
it's
board.
rude, but don't disrespect me as well, okay? Thank you very much, Mr. Hernandez.
Thank you all for your time. I will leave these extras on the back table if anybody wants one.
I have another public comment card from Richard Acosta. Is this public comment period?
Yes.
Public comment? Okay.
Okay, I think I've been here and a couple of other people have been here numerous times as far as the Veterans Square. Okay, yes, you do not have the authority to name it, but you have the authority to make a recommendation to the councilman on behalf of the community. The fact that I didn't show up or other people didn't show up at your executive meeting, that's because the month before executive meeting, we had to sit there and endure your bickering and fighting and disrespect for everybody, including people in the audience. So how many times do we have to come here and waste our time? Oh, because I'm eating. Oh, because this. Oh, because of that. I mean, that's totally disrespectful. How do you expect the community to actually have faith in you? You know, the other thing is, you know, you guys are so busy with your own little thing. You know, there was another drive-by shooting yesterday. When are you people going to wake up and do something about the drive-by shootings? Bring it to the attention of the councilman. Bring it to the attention of LAPD. I mean, I hope that it never happens that there's a drive-by shooting at one of your homes and one of your kids gets shot, and then we'll see what happens. You know? I mean, what are you guys waiting for? Another life to be lost? You know, and it's a waste of time, my time, it's a waste of community time. You know, I've increased the next door neighbor Northeast to 200 people. There's someone on there, they had a shooting last night, they're willing to sign petitions, okay? But how are they gonna get you people to understand and wake up? You know, why don't you use next door neighbor? Because that's just one section of the community. Everybody has their little next door neighbor. You can do the agendas, you can do outreach, you can do all kinds of things, and you guys never do. What's it gonna take? When are you guys gonna wake up? Or you know what? This is a waste of money. You guys spend so much money on feeding yourselves, you know, on your anniversary party and all this other stuff, on food, but what actually can I drive down the community and see that you actually have done something? Name me one thing. What kind of improvements, what kind of beautification, what actually has been done? You spend more money on food than anything else. And how many kids are going out without lunch or dinner during the summer months? Why don't you keep them busy? Make some event. Not a party for yourself. You know? It's a waste of time.
Thank you so much, Mr. Acosta, thank you. I'm glad that you actually bring this to our attention. I don't believe you're speaking directly to me because I've been following the rules and I understand that you're agitated. So hopefully some of the other board members that are here are actually paying attention, observing, and that you don't take this lightly. We have a responsibility to serve our stakeholders, and you're listening to our stakeholders address us, and they should not be speaking to us in that manner. But there's some directors who wish to deviate from, I guess, my guidance. So thank you for you speaking up about that, and it will still remain on the executive committee to name it Veterans Square, Veterans Plaza, Veterans Circle, Veterans Corner, whatever it is. And it should not be removed because what we want. We're here to serve you, so thanks for speaking up. We have, I think, the other public comment cards.
What about the drive-by shootings? Why are you gonna address that?
We'll speak to that during the public safety period, and just so the stakeholders know that I'm a help with Neighborhood Watch, and I'm out there regularly trying to reduce the elements, the negative elements, and the crime in our community. It's heartening to hear that there was another drive-by shooting last night. I almost announce these things regularly, but me, as an individual, I commit 3 hours every single day to reduce the negative elements. That's well beyond anybody else in this room. I do it for free, every single day, to reduce the gang activity. So I have Bruce Wilson, item 11, that'll be held over. We have Bruce Wilson, item 36, that'll be held over. And I have George Cabrera. And before George comes up, I just want to mention, as part of my commitment, I will be leaving in about 3 minutes. I have another LAPD obligation that I committed to throughout the month of August, which helps me get the training needed to better serve you guys in the community. So it might seem like I'm being irresponsible because I have to leave, but that responsibility is because I'm taking LAPD Police Department training through the Civilian Police Academy, and I do it to better serve you guys as stakeholders as part of Neighborhood Watch. So my commitment and dedication is still steadfast, and even though I might not be here for the remainder of the meeting, Miguel Vargas, our Vice President, will conduct the remainder of the meeting. My obligation and duties is still to remain to serve you guys. We have George Cabrera. 3 minutes, sir.
Good evening, Mr. President. Good evening, members of the board, and good evening, members of the audience. I have the new issue of the Community Beacon. It's a very informative issue. We have, of course, we have a new color on there, signifying, for the upcoming summer. On page 2, I just wanted to inform you, last month, on May 9th, was the anniversary for the, I don't know if you're referring to the Dodger Stadium. There were hundreds of homes there before, and on page 2 is a very, very influential story. I encourage every member of the audience to read. There's also on page 3, we have 2 new messages, both from the 2 new captains, Captain Ruby Flores and also Captain Alfred Labrada. Also, we have the stories on the Mount Loma Elementary School. On page 9, the Memorial Day tribute that we just recently had 2 weeks ago. There was a good story on there. On page 7, I encourage everyone to read, especially the members of the veterans community, Calling All Vets. It's a very encouraging story that I encourage the members of the veterans audience to read. On page 10, we have the Mother's Day messages on there. Also, I don't know if you're informed about this, but tomorrow, I think it's tomorrow, yes, June 8th is the Altorino Middle School graduation. On Friday, June 9th, is the Wilson High School graduation ceremony. And there again, I encourage members of the audience, the reason why our paper is so successful, folks, is because members of the audience, stakeholders, local residents, and business owners, they patronize our newspaper, and we encourage the services, particularly here in our newspaper, to continue that patronizing at the same time. Okay? And that's all I have to say at this time. Thank you.
Thank you very much, George. That's the last of the public comment cards that I have that have been filed and submitted. Do we have any stakeholders that still wish to speak during public comment? This will be non-agenda items. We could take a show of hands, but this is an opportunity for the public to address the board. Sir, you can come and speak to us for 3 minutes as well. At this time, what I'm going to do is I hand the meeting over to Miguel Vargas, he's our vice president. Michelle did take a seat now, so we do have 8 members here quorum. I'm going to be excusing myself, like I mentioned, for a prior commitment and obligation.
Hi, I'm Victor Payares, born and raised in El Sereno, been here for over 40 years. The first thing I'd like to speak about is something that hasn't been done. It's said it's going to be done, and it hasn't, is our El Sereno Park. The renovations still are not complete. Juan, the director here, Susie, works for Councilman Weezar's office. So does Julio. They do excellent work as field representatives. The problem is it goes above them. And so what I'd like to ask you guys is to step up for the community and to address this issue because it's been going on for way too long. We need those restrooms on the field. We need that clubhouse, that section. We need to figure out what we're going to do with that. We need open space. We need a multi-purpose field for the kids to play and practice. That part needs to be fixed. So again, I'm asking you guys to step up for the community and address that issue. It's gone way too long. It's unacceptable. I've had to call the city myself. As a matter of fact, she won't take my calls any longer. I call for updates. It's out for rebid. It's out for rebid. And oh, they're going to do it this time. At this time, it's going to be done. 4 months comes down. I call back. It's out for rebid. That's all they keep saying. So again, this is something that we need addressed. We need fixed. The gang problems you're talking about. I run the El Sereno Insider. It's a Facebook page. And I discussed a little bit about what's going on with the gangs. We have 4 active gangs in the neighborhood, or in the area. There's 2 to be at war right now. And the drive-by shootings are occurring, and it's going to keep going. They don't speak, nobody knows any information, they won't talk about it. So these are the kind of the things that we need to address. We're having a community safety meeting. We're working on a date. We got LAPD on board, hopefully the councilman's office will come by. Hopefully you guys can come by. Bioactive is involved for gang prevention, gang intervention. This is a really dangerous time for anybody out in the neighborhood. This is a time where innocent kids get shot at because they're believed to be gang members. We need to get these kids in programs. We need to get these kids active in some type of positive activity. If not, they're going to sway, they're going to go into gangs. That's a given. So we're going to be setting up an emergency meeting hopefully early next week. As far as the gangs go, again, we'd like to try to get the community involved and try to do some prevention or some intervention. Another thing that I'm offering the community free of charge is we do a free boot camp on Wednesdays, 6:30. Today we schedule it at 7:30. If you want to come out, work out, get in shape, it's free. It's an hour. It's an academy-style boot camp. Bring your kids, as long as they're not destructive. Get your kids active. We need to get in shape. Obesity is a big problem in the community, and we need to get more involved. So that's all I got to say. Thank you.
What's the convention like for the weekend?
All right, thank you for those comments. So as Anthony mentioned, I'm taking over the meeting. At this point, I'd like to invite Paul from the Shakespeare Center to come and speak for the next 2 hours. You have a very common voice, so no, I'm just kidding. But in seriousness, if you ever did want to come before, you're welcome.
Mr. President, I'd like to move number 7 out of order to be heard next. I motion to move number 7 to be heard next.
Okay, we have a motion to move item 7 forward. Is there a second?
Second.
We have a second. Let's go ahead and vote on that. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Okay, motion passes. We're going to go ahead and hear item 7 out of order. Let's start. This is the item that allows for city departments and other folks to come up here and give a quick presentation. So let's see, let's start with Dunn. Is there a representative from Dunn at this time that would like to speak? There's only if they have or would like to speak. And there it is. Amen. And they are, Mr. Sal.
Okay. I want to lead with you have first of all, Thompson with the Department of Neighborhood and Economy. As you mentioned, what is the money that you use to spend for the community? And perfect timing, because today in your budget package, you guys will be discussing your strategic plan and your goals for your council. So keep that in mind, stakeholders, as you're here. every time a neighborhood council, they get their fiscal funds, they have to submit to us an approved budget packet with stakeholder input and also a strategic plan with certain goals. So you'll see that later on in the agenda. I do want to bring attention to the board. The annual budget day is happening again on June the 24th. And we're looking for at least 2 board members, preferably the new ones, to maybe attend these meetings. It's a free breakfast. It's an opportunity to network and meet other representatives from other neighborhood councils. And you have an opportunity to break up into the Northeast region to kind of discuss budget priorities. And from that caucus, you'll appoint 2 what's called budget advocates to go to attend meetings and to be the representative of the Northeast to get the word out about the new budget process and to collect stakeholder input on the budget as well. So we don't need a formal motion, but if anyone's interested, free breakfast, I say that, on June the 24th. I'll send it through email again, but if you can at least have 1 or 2 representatives. I forget, has anyone on the board done this before in the past?
Me and Cynthia.
Yeah, so then,
I've been to the meetings, but I was not an advocate, I was there as a council.
yeah, but so it'd be great to have.
It's nice because sometimes the mayor comes into the meetings.
Correct.
and brings them.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, so keep that in mind, and then you guys are getting the 5,000 for next year, so it's 42,000. So that's some good news. And I'll be here for the rest of the meeting. And I know there's some other agenda items that kind of emails you on, so then I'll be here. Okay.
Okay, moving down the list here. I don't see anyone from the senator's office, the congressman's office, the governor's office, any of these folks, but I do see people from Councilman Weisner's office. Oh, I'm sorry, we have a representative from Rec Parks and Fire Department. But let's hear Juan.
Okay, good evening, everybody. Juan Guzman, El Sereno Director. Just a couple of brief updates. Right now, while we're conducting this meeting, we have about 40 young ladies that are evaluating, going through evaluations for Summer Night Light softball. So as many in the community are probably aware, the Summer Night Light program begins at all the parks that are having them on the 28th of June, which is Wednesday. It runs through August 25th. We currently have over 320 plus kids registered for various sports, basketball, softball, we have adult sports as well, basketball, softball. We just completed our spring baseball, softball season with 1 division left to play. Part of what Victor shared, it is actually correct that we are waiting on further renovations to the grounds at the rec center. But we are happy to share that we will be hosting our department's softball and baseball region championships because we do have the best looking fields in our area of what has been upgraded and completed. So we are pretty excited about that. Plus that helps me too with rapid driver. Monday open summer camp. For those of you that need a place to send your kids or the neighbor's kids, okay, send someone. We have 9 weeks of summer camp. Anyone that would like to be added to our email list, okay, you can email elsereno.recreationcenter@lacity.org, or you can call our office 323-225-3517 and ask to be added to the email list. So we have summer camp, Summer Night Lights. We will be opening registration for fall sports in July. There is also, I hear there's a 10th annual concert and fireworks coming up that probably the council office can talk about that a little more, but I did just, about 2 weeks ago, approve the paperwork and all of that, so we're looking forward to that as well. My name's Juan, Park Director, looking forward to a fun summer and a safe summer. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Juan. All right, how about our friends from the fire department? Let's see if we have an update here. And then as he's walking up here, everyone please remember we have pizza in the back. So please help yourself.
Good evening, gang. David Archer, Los Angeles Fire Department for County 2. It's nice to be back here again. It's been a couple months that we were here last. About some of my colleagues that were here, Spence and Rosinski. But being handed out right now is hands only CPR. I really strongly encourage everybody to take that, take a look at it. The real nice thing about this handout is it's 1 page. 1 page, and it takes about 60 to 90 seconds of your time to go through that, to be able to save the life of someone you love or somebody you may pass by the street, or actually, like these folks are just talking about, in the park. what a great program that Friday Night Lights is. Being able to go over there. The days I worked here in El Sereno and Highland Park, for that matter, fantastic. We used, at the fire stations, we used to go by there, drop by, count with some of the festivities. But please, take the time to look at this hand building CPR. It could very well save a life. Since we started this with really trying to get out, CPR instructions and everything with our Pulse Point app and the defibrillators that we have all around the city, it's really increased our percentage of saving lives throughout the city. Pre-arrival CPR has saved countless lives so far through the city. I wish I had a number for you, but it's a lot better than it used to be years and years ago. And what we're going to be going into right now is the 4th of July season. Once again, I don't need you need to be reminded that all fireworks are illegal in the city of Los Angeles. Bear that in mind. Don't hesitate to call 911. As the days leading up. We've had a series of fires up in Debs Park and up in Montecito Heights also, where not necessarily Debs Park, but Montecito Heights, fireworks were directly responsible for the start of the fire. We try to remain vigilant in keeping our eye on things. There's only so many of us to go around. But we're here to serve you, do the best we can. Any questions? Sure.
People in the community, the next door neighbor have been complaining about the fireworks.
Yes.
I mean, some people aren't educated enough to know that the major fireworks that go up, the skyrockets that are colorful, are the ones that are not legally sold, like in Alhambra. Okay, they even got to the point somebody wanted to boycott the city of Alhambra, their businesses. I looked for a flyer in the fire department's website to maybe post on there. And the thing was, the last one I believe was 2015. You do not have a current flyer that one can try to send out to everybody. Okay, the other thing is, in the old days, you guys used to put a banner across Huntington Drive about the fireworks. Neither the fire department, nor the LAPD, nor the councilman's office has taken the time, nor the neighborhood council, taken the time to post anything. And it's so easy just to put a flyer on the next door neighbor, and it reaches, I don't know how many, it reaches quite a few neighbors. Okay? You don't even have to mail them. You don't even have to print them. But like I said, the last flyer I found from LAFD was in 2015.
Okay, well, I can only speak about 2017 because I wasn't around here. Then, like I was telling this gentleman here, every year, as we approach the 4th of July, in front of every fire station, we'll have all fireworks that are illegal in the city of Los Angeles banner. That is up. And there's also countless number of news streams that identify exactly what you're talking about. That is Channel 7, Channel 2, Channel 4, all the news services, all the radio media, and even what's on Facebook, what's on Twitter, everything like that. We have people who are working on social media, trying to push all this information out. So we are really trying to do a strong outreach on it. We always have, and we always will. But do the best we can.
If you actually, I believe, have access to post on next door neighbor. Okay, you can post flyers on there, and it will get to a number of thousand in the community. I mean, that's cheap. I mean, if you could do that, I'd appreciate it. If not, if you email me one, and I'll try to convert it and put it on there, I will, because I did not find one on your website.
Okay, here's my card.
All right. And I don't mean to be disrespectful or to you.
Don't be disrespectful.
It's just that I'm tired that the neighborhood council doesn't do anything.
Well, I can't speak on that at all, but I just want to say that email me and I'll get you whatever we have.
All right.
And we can carry this conversation on offline if you like. Any other questions from anybody? Sir?
Yeah, I suggest, firefighter, that you come in early April, address this neighborhood council, get the money for the banner. All we have to do, 4th of July, put it up across Huntington Drive. I mean, there's nothing they have done for our community. If you come to the neighborhood council, since the councilman's office doesn't like spending money for art, this side of town, only downtown LA, because that's where he gets all those big bucks. If you come and address this council, ask them for the money, they're spending, next year they have it on a new business, spending $4,000 that none of us have seen the minutes for. But if you come,
Well, I can't speak on that, of course, you know that. But,
no, the fire department could come and ask for money in my banner.
Yeah, we just might, but, you know, we just give the.
All right, guys, we gotta get this moving along here. I'm sorry, is it chief or captain?
Chief.
Chief, thanks for coming out.
You can call me Chief. Thank you, guys.
Chief, you're gonna give us a demonstration tonight? CPR? Just kidding. Somebody, we'll get a volunteer for it. All right, thank you guys.
Anybody has got one?
All right, moving on the agenda. Let's go Councilman Weezar's office. There she is.
Hello, everyone. My name is Susana Lopez. Some of you know me as Susie, and that's fine too. I'm a representative for Councilmember Weezar, and I do have two announcements first. I would like to announce the El Sereno Business Watch that is taking place next week on Tuesday, June 13th at 10 a.m. This is taking place in our office. I did bring some flyers, and they're located in the back of our office, in the back of the building, the table back there. We do have the Senior Lead Officer Dominguez attend these meetings. These are at our office from 10 a.m. to 11 a.m., and that's to address any a crime report. It's not only for businesses, but also it's open to just anyone that would like to attend from the public. So we do hope to see you there. If you have any questions regarding the meeting, just let me know. And I would also like to announce this year's 10th annual El Sereno Concert and Fireworks Show that is taking place at the El Sereno Park. And I did bring some flyers. I believe the only ones that are left are in Spanish. So I will be posting this on our newsletter, or if you would like some copies, to step into our office and we'd be happy to give you some. And also I would like to announce, for those that are not already registered to our weekly newsletter, please do so. I did bring my business cards. Just email me and I'll go ahead and add your email there, and you'll receive all of the latest updates, everything that's going on, events, meetings taking place, or just any important announcements. So if you would like to sign up and you're not already registered, just let us know. In regards to the fireworks, I do want to say that we are working on posting, that fireworks are illegal and all the important information that needs to be out there. We are working on posting it on our newsletter, and we're also going to do a $1.99 as well.
On the northeast, next door neighbor, and I'm assuming the other neighborhoods got it also, part of El Sereno. It said that the councilman's office was going to start posting their flyers, their newsletters and stuff. When is that going to take effect?
Yeah, that's what I just announced. We're going to start this week.
But you didn't mention the next door neighbors. I'm talking about you posting it on there where it actually reaches more people.
We are not under next door neighbor. I mean, that's just open to the community, but it's not an obligation from our office.
It's not an obligation, but it's a cheap way of doing it. Plus, I've signed up for the councilman's office, the newsletters and everything else. I don't get any mailers, I don't get anything. I get it from the neighbors. Okay, partly because maybe I'm a little bit more vocal, or partly because my voter registration is confidential. So you guys assume I don't vote. I don't know how many times one would have to ask you people to mail it.
All right, so if you need to have a side conversation, go ahead and do that. But thank you, Susie.
Thank you.
Very quickly, please, on your boss's website, do they have copies of the flyer that can be transmitted electronically to other media?
If you would like to.
I'd like to go to.
Okay, we'll talk on the side of it.
Okay.
I'll talk to you.
One more question?
Yeah, I have a question. If history, I like to remember history, 4th of July falls on the 4th of July. Why is it that this community cannot celebrate the 4th of July and the 4th?
Okay, let me explain that. So we are having a parade as well. And a lot of the times why we do not have it on 4th of July is because we do get a very low turnout. And a lot of the performances and bands that we have aren't available because everyone's usually busy doing their own thing, celebrating with their families. So that is why we tend to celebrate it either a weekend or 2 weekends before, to get more of a turnout and more people to be able to participate and enjoy the event.
Got it. Thank you, Susie.
Thank you.
I noticed you brought someone else, new guys. Is this a new
Oh, we
person?
do have a new staff
Does he
member.
want to come introduce himself quickly? Let's hear it. You got-
Alright, just quickly, not too much time. I'm new, just started 2 months ago. My name is Jose Hernandez, and I'm the new case manager for the El Sereno office. If you have any complaints, bulky items you might need to get picked up, feel free to give office a call, and I'll be sure to pick up either me or Jermaine, the other case manager. Yeah, thank you for you guys, very lovely neighbor council you'll have here. Thank you very much.
Thank you, everybody. We're glad you guys. We're glad. All right, so any other, let me see, I don't believe we have any other representatives from any other departments, so we are moving on. So we did go out of order, so let's now go back to item 6. We are back on item 6 now. President's report, 6A, filling the vacancy in the South Region area. Per the bylaws, Article 5, Governing Board Section 6, filling the vacancies. You guys can all read it there. I don't need to read that for you, but at this point, let's go ahead and move forward with filling that seat. Is there anyone who would be interested in serving, and anyone who's eligible in serving in the South Region seat? Anyone out there? Anyone? Oh, we do have somebody. Miss, would you mind coming up to the podium? So as she's coming up here, we just need to quickly verify that. So there is a protocol for how we fill the seats, the vacancies, and it looks like we've exhausted all of these different criteria, A and B. So now we are on C, nominate from a stakeholder. So any board member may nominate stakeholders, or any other stakeholders can request consideration for filling the vacancy. So your name is?
Stephanie Escobar.
Stephanie Escobar. And you live in the South Region?
No, I'm a stakeholder.
Oh, stakeholder. Okay, excellent. All right, is there any other nominations? Anyone else who would like to serve? Okay, so we have one stakeholder who would like to nominate herself to fill the seat. I believe we need let's vote on this. Let's vote on this. Okay, so before we do that, give us. Yes. Are you're a stakeholder from the South Region?
Yes.
Okay, so why don't you give us speak for a few minutes about yourself, and then explain how you're a stakeholder from the South Region, please.
Okay. So my name is Stephanie Escobar. I am a 4th year student at California State University of Northridge. My major is urban planning, so with that being said, I have an interest and a passion for community issues and being involved. But I've never really had the opportunity to be really involved with the community, and I've known about your vacancy for recording secretary for a couple months, and I would really want to be a part so that I could be an asset to your board, the community, and to be involved. And the way I'm a stakeholder here at El Sereno is I'm a part of the cheesesteak.
Okay. Excellent. So, thank you for sharing that information with us. At this point, let's go ahead and vote. I'm sorry, your name is Stephanie? One more time? Stephanie. Let's go. Stephanie.
Name and address.
Public comment?
Yeah, okay, let's, we gotta open this up to public comment. Is there any public comment on the proposed appointment of Stephanie Escobar? Any public comment? Okay, seeing no public comment, let's just go ahead and open the roll and vote for this. Please raise your hand when I ask, and keep it up if you'd like to vote in favor of confirming Stephanie to the board. So all in favor, please raise your hand and say aye. Aye. 10, it's unanimous. So Stephanie, congratulations, you are now a member of the LA 32 board. Come on up. You get to join in on all the fun. Excellent. Welcome. Okay, item 6 is now closed. We're moving on. We have done item 7, so now we are on item 8. Approval of the minutes from the general board meeting on March 1st. I believe the President Manzano, emailed those out to everybody.
They're on the wall and
They're on the wall and on the projector and back wall. So has everyone hopefully everyone has had an opportunity to read and look over the minutes. If you haven't, then please abstain. But at this time, would somebody like to make a motion to move this forward?
A motion to move the minutes for for March, April, and May.
Okay, we have a motion to move the minutes forward. We have a second. Let's hear public comment first, though.
Which one did you separate for the record?
This is March minutes. Oh, I'm sorry, March and April. March and April minutes. Okay.
What about me? It's not on the agenda.
On the agenda. Okay, is there any public comments? No? Public comments on approval of the minutes? Okay, any board discussion?
Yeah, I think I see the March come through on my email, but on the April, I hadn't taken a chance to take a look at it. I kind of feel a little weird about having to approve both at one time.
That was that question I just asked for now, because it's March and May. April was just given to us today. So that's why I'm saying, it's supposed to say March and May, not April. That is my question as to why it does not say May. March and May were given to us prior, and April was just sent to us. So I would like to make the amendment that we strike April 5th, 2017, and we would add May.
I second that amendment.
Okay, so we have an amendment to strike April and replace that with May. Is there, we have a second, May 3rd. May 3rd, and we have a second. Let's hear public comments on the amendment. Is there any public comments on amending item 8? Amending item 8, any public comment? Any board comment on amending item 8? Okay, no, I'm not seeing any board comment, any public comments, so let's go ahead and vote on this. All in favor of amending item 8, say aye. Raise your hand, say aye. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, abstaining 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 votes. And then, is there anyone who'd like to abstain? Anyone who'd like to abstain from this amendment? Anyone who's opposed? Ugo, are you in favor of the amendment? Abstain, okay. Ugo is abstaining, and so is Stephanie. Okay. So the amendment passes 9-1-0. All right, so the item before us then is item 8, approval of the minutes from the general board meeting of March 1st and May 3rd. Would somebody like to make a motion to move this item forward? Okay, we have a motion to approve the minutes of the general board meeting from March 1st and May 3rd. Is there a second? Second to approve the...
Second.
We have a second. Thank you, Dr. Tom. Let's open this up for public comment. Any public comment on this item? Approval of the minutes. Anyone would like to comment on approval of the minutes? Okay, any board discussion? Approval of the minutes. Okay, seeing no comments, no discussion, let's go ahead and open this up. All in favor of approving the general board minutes from March 1 and May 3rd, please raise your hand and say aye. Aye. Okay, all those opposed, please say aye. Or, I'm sorry, opposed, or nay, and then any abstentions? 3 abstentions. He voted in favor. Okay, so that is 8 ayes and 3 abstentions. Okay, excellent. Moving on, item 9, treasurer's report. Michelle, would you like to lead us through that one?
Let's get back to documents.
You're absolutely right. I'm sorry, everyone out there got a little too excited here. We skipped an item. Actually, item 5. Is there anyone who'd like, any board members who'd like to make announcements? Any board members who'd like to make announcements? Dr. Tom? By the way, I saw you at City Hall today, that you were across the way, I couldn't say hi. But,
I get around. We had 2 gentlemen talking about Nextdoor. One of the problems with Nextdoor and many blogs is that if more than so many board members join it and start discussing anything from the neighborhood council or anything that might come to the neighborhood council, there may be a problem. And we would need to have Tom, wherever he is outside.
Tom, are you available?
Yes. Now, give us a reading as to, can we participate in things like Nextdoor regarding any item that is either on the agenda, on
question.
Or within our,
So, let's say that.
the gentleman that just came in with you mentioned next door.
Right?
And might say, I participated next door, but I'm always, problem. Any issue that might come to the board, or that is within the discussion of the board and this committee,
Right.
if more than X number of us participate in that law, is that a violation, ethical
Yeah,
violation?
the safest example we give is Facebook, right? So a lot of neighborhood councils have have their own Facebook page, right? There's positions on there. And then also then, the Kathy decides, hey, I think this is a terrible idea. And then Michelle comes back, no, it's a great idea. Phil says it's a good idea. It becomes what's called, right, it's a serial communication, which is a violation, which should lead to serial communication, which is a violation of the Brown Act, yes.
It's a question as to if it's an item that's either within a committee or within the board, might say review at the present time, then it's for sure, might say we should not be discussing anything.
No, but
However, it's a question as to, gentleman says, drive-by shootings. If we start doing anything about drive-by shootings on next door, but then in 2 months, we get a motion from the Public Safety Committee regarding drive-bys, are we in violation before it is made a motion?
Okay, right. If it's, if board knows that if it's financial, most likely there'll be a violation. Now, we're talking about acting as capacity of like, okay, can you do something on your, as an individual board member or as yourself before the?
As myself, what's the difference?
Well, if you're doing it as your capacity now as a board member, then yeah, sure, you could go ahead and help out the drive-by issue. The short answer for the community though is that how the neighborhood council can get involved is that the way I would use Nextdoor, as Richard mentioned, is to use that as a forum to pass out information, just as you do with your Facebook sites. Board members, please do not have an abundance of caution. Do not use it for discussion. Or actually, we should do this. We should do that. If the community is bringing up, hey, this is a concern for us, then maybe it's worthwhile for the board to address this at the public safety level, knowing that this is a concern of the community. So that would be the process I would use to kind of address that issue. Okay?
And actually, now that I think about it, Dr. Tom, just imagine a bulletin board on the library. And you go and you post a comment there. I come by 2 hours later and post a reply to your comment. Somebody else comes by. We're not all there at the same time. So there's not necessarily a quorum.
It's called serious.
Yeah, it can lead to serial communication, so that's why we got to be a little careful about that. The Brown Act was created during a time before, shall we say, social media was a little popular, and we've gotten challenges.
But Dunn needs to have a
I agree. You know what? I think the city attorney is working. We need to kind of not update the Brown Act, but what is the? I know for a fact that if you comment on the Brown Act, if there's anything, that's why I'm asking you divorce. Please start be seeing each other for the serial communication. Just keep that in mind, okay?
All right. Thank you. Okay. Any other board member comments or announcements? Yes, you will.
Yeah, first of all, I'd like to brag a little bit. My daughter finds that bar, so
California bar.
correct. She's an ABA lawyer.
All right.
So, the other thing I wanted to talk to you about was several stakeholders brought up the issue about who represents the neighborhood council at government functions, specifically at the last Memorial Day event that we had here. According to the bylaws, it happens to be the president at all functions, unless the board or the president decides. So I would just caution us that if we're asked to represent the neighborhood council, and we've not given that authority, then we could be in violation of the bylaws, and we wouldn't want to have agreements on that. So I'm just bringing that up because I know there's getting requests from different people for different, other than the president to be there, but our bylaws do call for the president to be the representative. And that's my announcement.
It's a good point. It's a good point. There's oftentimes people in the community who ask, different folks, but we got to make sure we're following the bylaws there. Excellent. All right. Moving on here, we are done with board member comments. 5, we are done with item 6, we are done with item, one more comment.
Just to let you know that Sports and Recs have already met, and we have a upcoming movie night in August with Councilman Weezer. Also, Ascot Hills Challenge in September, so we're moving along, doing some events ready for the community, and just look for stuff to be posted on our Facebook page and on our website.
Excellent, thank you. Thank you. Moving on here, item 9, back to item 9. Michelle.
Oh, yes, item 9. Monthly report for May 2017. Operational expense 264. Outreach expense 540. A total of 804 was spent for the month of May 2017. There is a copy in the back and it's projected up here. Thank you.
All right. There's no, do we need to approve the financial report?
Somebody just move it forward.
And, okay, so
I move to move financial report forward.
approve the financial report?
Yes.
So Jackie,
For the month of May 2017.
Jackie moves to approve the financial report for May 2017. Is there a second? We have a second, okay.
Just for the new board member, congratulations, welcome on board.
Yeah, you're doing some stuff right.
Very good, very good. Just for record, if you have not taken your funding or ethics training yet, for funding items, you'll be ineligible to vote. He's good. We talked.
Yeah, he's got his people.
He's good, he's good.
Point of order.
Public comment this time.
So I have a point of order. Could you repeat the expenses again? How much was for the month of May?
804 for the month of May.
What was, could you break down the figures?
Hold on, sir, you'll have an opportunity to
I
ask this
think we
question.
didn't hear because.
Yeah, we're gonna discuss it just now, and then we'll have public comment here. We'll have discussion on it. Okay, so we have a motion, we have a second. Let's open this up to public comment. Is there any public comment on the treasurer's report? Yes, public comment.
Yeah, thank you. Michelle, you gave two reports and 2 expenses. What about the hospitality? How much was spent in May? That would came out of our funds.
Yeah, okay, so you're continuing, that's your public comment.
Okay, I just want to know how much was spent in the month of May for food.
Okay. Thank you. Yes, sir. Any other public comments on this item? Any other public comment on item 9, approval of the May financial report? No? Okay, is there any board discussion? Yes, we will.
You know, there was a discussion about where the expenditure for the public safety hiker drill on April. So in April, we went ahead and approved it without it. So where was it placed? I don't see it here on the May report.
You're trying to figure out where the expenditures are, what month were they recorded in? The expenditure for that hiker drill?
That's correct. Because in April, we approved that one and it was not included in that report. So where does it get included now if it's not on this report?
Hiker drill happened in what month? April. Okay, but they're not recorded in the financial, the report for April. Michelle?
Would you like me to answer?
Yes.
All right, I'll answer too. I need to give the authority to. So if you go to the back, it's a hard copy, and up here behind me, I'm projecting as well. So I'm going to answer first the first question, then I'll take care of the second question. There was 4 expenses, which was a board reimbursement by Jackie Carrillo, public storage, which is automatically the credit card gets withdrawn from our account. Robert Castro, which was the hospitality for the month of May, and Luna's Day, which was the half-page ad that was used for Luna's Day Foundation event. Receipts, I have them all here, and if anybody wants to see them, they're also back there, and we have hard copies up here in the front. The second question. It was a bit challenging trying to get funding department to authorize the authority to pay Jose Luna for the reimbursement of the lost hiker drill. It took several emails back and forth, and I CC'd my executive colleagues so they could see the challenges that I was facing. And the reason why it was a delay was because we submitted it April 20, 3rd, which was that evening, Sunday, the day of the Kite Fest. We are supposed to submit these a month before the event, and we submitted it on April 23rd, and the event was April 30th. So they are not going to drop everything for that event, because they have things that have been submitted 30 months ago. So they proceed with what they get in front of them, even though I call and I'm calling them and emailing them and telling them board member needs to be reimbursed. So eventually we did get it. They did give me the authorization code, but you're not going to see it in the April monthly report with the board member paid out of his pocket. You're not going to see it for the May because we didn't pay him just yet because we barely got the authorization code for the month of June. So you will see it in July when we sit here and look at the July. Jose Luna is going to be reimbursed and he will receive his check on June 12th. Thank you.
Okay, so it sounds like it'll be recorded in the June meeting. All right, excellent. So any other board discussion? Any other board discussion? Okay, any other public comment? All right, let's go ahead and vote on this item. Approval of the May 2017 budget. Okay. Now, recording secretary is going to take the lead on this. Our future.
Okay. Aaron Ostrom. Okay, Jackie Carrera.
Yes.
Kathy Leal.
She did say Kathy?
She said yes.
She said yes.
Okay, Carla Flores. Ms. Miguel Vargas.
Yes.
Michelle Dos Santos.
Yes.
Karina Cruz.
Yes.
Jose Luna. Tom Williams.
Yes.
Sammy Abdul Jabbar. Marcia Guzman. Cynthia Sandoval. Deacon Hugo Pacheco.
That's you, basically, this should be your name. So you would put announce it for yourself.
Anthony Manzano.
And there's a call for abstaining.
Yes.
And then you come in and you go to the chair. So he knows to announce it.
So it was 8 yes and 2 abstain.
So the item passes 8 ayes and 2 abstentions. 802. Item passes 802. Okay, the budget, the May 2017 budget has been approved. Excellent. Moving on to the next item, which is old business. Item 10, discussion and possible action related to electing a new recording secretary. So would somebody like to let me see here. This is who the president appoints, is that correct? All right, I'd like to appoint Stephanie. And let's have some discussion on this. Wait, is there, okay, we have a second. Let's open this up to public comment. Is there any public comment on the appointment of the new recording secretary? Yes, public comment. Roll.
Hi, good evening. I don't know Stephanie, the new board member, but I know that the MC has been for a while without a secretary, and I think if she's willing to take that role, I think she's supportive.
Thank you. Thank you for public comment. Any other public comments on the appointment of Stephanie? No? Okay, well, we have okay, stakeholders have to vote. So I'm appointing Stephanie, but it still has to be ratified by the board. So we're going to vote on this, but first we're going to allow stakeholders an opportunity to vote for the recording secretary. So if you folks out in the audience would just do us a big favor and help us out here, if you think that our newest board member here, Stephanie, should be appointed as the recording secretary, please just raise your hand if you think that's a good idea. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Looks like 6 people in the audience. 7. Sorry, 7.
No.
And a half.
7. All right, now how many folks in the audience do not think that Stephanie should be the recording secretary? If you think, no, she's not cut out for it, she can't hack it, go ahead and just say no. Anyone in opposition? No? No? Okay, great. So we have 6 stakeholders who support Stephanie as the recording secretary. Is there any other board comments, board discussion? You will?
Yeah, where does the secretary get to the point?
Does the president not appoint the president appoints So then I would, withdraw that motion. All right, let's hold on, let's take a step back there. You're right, so clarification, I do not appoint. So this is an officer, so we did have a motion out there to go ahead and nominate Stephanie. So that was the motion, right?
I'll move the motion to nominate Stephanie Escobar for our recording secretary position.
Okay. And we have a second. So then, just do this right, is there any public comment on Stephanie being elected recording secretary? Any public comment on that? No, any board discussion on Stephanie being nominated for recording secretary? No? We know that 6 stakeholders support her, so let's go ahead. Seven. So let's go ahead and vote on this. All in favor of having Stephanie become our new recording secretary, say aye. Aye. Raise your hand, please. Okay, all those opposed, say nay. And any abstentions? One abstention. Who did you? Yes. Okay. Excellent. All right, item passes. Congratulations, Stephanie. Welcome. All right, thank you. Moving on now, item 11. Discussion and possible action that LA 32 approve an NPG in the amount of $1,963 for the Cal State LA Emergency Preparedness Equipment. This is not heard of from last time. We do have a.
Sir, I'm sorry. Before you started, that's I'm sorry. We're on 11. Never mind.
Okay.
I was going to give the count. Sorry. The count is 9 yes, 1 no, 1 abstain.
That was for Stephanie?
Yes.
Okay,
There
excellent.
was a no?
Yes, Tom said no.
Oh,
sorry.
we abstained.
So then it's 902.
Okay. Excellent. That's the official count. Going back to 11, item 11. Would somebody like to move this item forward, table this item? I actually don't know if we have enough money in the budget to do this right now. But let's see, is there somebody who'd like to do something with this item? Somebody would like to make a motion to continue?
I'd like to move forward that we approve NPG in the amount of 1,000 to Cal State.
So you want to-
1,963.
1,963. So there's a motion to approve this NPG. And we have a second. All right,
I'd like to amend that we amend to $1,000.
Okay, you'd like to amend the motion, so let's go ahead and, is there a second to the amendment? And we have a second to the amendment. So there is an item on the floor to amend item 11. We will change the amount from $1,963 to $1,000. So we have a motion and a second. Let's hear some public comment on the amendment. So does anyone in the public have any public comment to give related to the amendment? Any public comments? All right, thank you.
Hello, everybody. Good afternoon, board members. I'm just wondering on the amounts, what's it going to be used for? Just putting money out there for SLA, I understand, but how's it going to be used and how's it going to help out our community once it's given out? Just wondering, it's money going out from our taxpayers' money, so thank you.
Okay, thank you. As a quick, yes, one more public comment.
Where's the application for anybody to view? And are you guys gonna, has anybody even heard this MPG? I don't think a committee's even heard it, have they? So what's the recommendation? No committee has heard it. No, but you guys, you're gonna hear it today before you vote, right? Because you're voting already, we haven't seen an application.
Well, let's wait until she's done for public comment. Okay, any other public comments? Any other public comments on the amendment? All right, so just to provide some background for the stakeholders and everyone here, Cal State LA's Emergency Preparedness Coordinator came, was it 2 months ago? 2 months ago, they had a presentation, they put forth an NPG application. The funding would go toward buying backpacks, emergency preparedness backpacks, which would be given to anyone who volunteers to go through the training. So if you are a stakeholder of El Sereno and you say, you know what, I want to be certified in emergency preparedness training, you go to Cal State LA, you enroll this program, you go through the course, and when you're done, you get a backpack, which I think has, flashlights and Band-Aids and things like that, a compass, gloves, emergency preparedness equipment. And the coordinator mentioned that 60% of all those people enrolled in the class are from the El Sereno communities. No, I'm sorry, 90032 community. So that was the presentation that was given 2 months ago. So is there any other public comments on just the amendment? What about any board comment on amending this from $1,963 to $1,000? Yes, Hugo?
Yeah, it's specifically onto the amendment of the amount, not necessarily yet about the actual motion itself. What is the logic of going from 1,900 to 1,000? I don't hear any logic as to why we're reducing it. So there's no argument in terms of why we should reduce it as opposed to giving them the whole amount. So I would say not to. I mean, they're requesting $1,900 if that's what they want. And that's what they needed. Who made the decision to reduce them to 1,000?
So 19, you're correct, $1,963 is what they originally requested. So it might have to do something with, maybe we don't have all that money to give them, but let's ask our treasurer. Michelle, do we have this money in the MPG category?
I make any amend that I like, and I thought that amend was suitable.
Not 1,000 just sounds like a solid
That was a
number.
suitable number, and I'm going based off the numbers of the balance that we have left on the account, which is $3,377.20, and that's not including June 23rd and Webmaster still paying him his $780, and June 23rd to Business and Economic for what is it, $200? So
okay.
yeah, I just
So
thought that was
just-
something suitable, but if obviously the amend doesn't pass, then we go back to the 19, whatever.
Right, and I remember that during the presentation, there were a lot of concerns about if this is the best use of this money for the neighborhood, maybe there's a better use of giving it to somebody, a different organization. But so maybe I think some of the sentiment or some of the feeling that people walk away with is maybe we don't give them the whole money the whole amount that they're requesting, but a partial amount. So right now, this would be, if we chose to amend this and then later approve it, we would be not giving them their full amount, be giving them something. And, this amount, 1,000, sounds like it's a little bit more aligned with what our budget reality. So we have do we have any other board comments? Yes, Dr. Fong.
My basic concern with any money going to,
This is just on the amendment, though.
I would prefer to see it at 0 rather than 1,000 because there's no justification for 1,000 other than reducing the number of bags by half. So, no, it does not sound like what we should be doing. And the fact that it was presented, were there any details provided when it was presented at 1960?
So, were you here for the presentation?
Yes.
Yeah. That's right.
And my objection again was at the time, I see no real benefit to 90032 other than those students in Cal State LA being enrolled in the program. They are stakeholders in LA 32.
Right.
So,
Okay. Excellent. Thank you. Any
no
other?
justification for the original number, no justification for the current number.
Okay. Is there any other board comment? Okay, so we have a funding item before this. We have to do a roll call. This is an amendment.
Not for the amendment.
Oh, okay. My correction. I'm sorry, my mistake. Let's go ahead and open this up. We're amending item 11. All those in favor say aye. Raise your hand. Aye. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I am counting 9 ayes and 1 abstention, and then 1 ineligible.
This is for the amendment, right?
This just one night.
No.
Oh, I'm sorry. Apologize. It's a no.
So it's 9-1.
9, 1, and ineligible.
She's getting there. She's learning that.
amendment passes 9-1.
who's abstaining?
You, who abstained? No, nobody abstained. What was a,
It was 9-1-0. Okay.
9-1-0. Okay, excellent. The item has been amended. Item 11, discussion and possible action at LA 32 approve an NPG in the amount of $1,000 for the Cal State LA Emergency Preparedness Equipment. Would somebody like to move this item forward? Or,
No, it is forward.
I'm sorry, would somebody like to approve this item?
No,
There will be public comment.
public comment
Public
for
comment.
the actual, that's when you get to take the topic.
Okay, so we have an item before us to approve $1,000. Is there public comment on item 11?
Just a question when you get back around to your discussion and somebody can answer. How many bags will that buy? Like, were you guys given the cost per bag? So just how much, what's the cost per bag so we can kind of know how many members in our community will receive this bag?
All right, thank you. We have some more public comments? We'll get to everybody, hold on. Yes, Yola?
Yes, hi, yeah, I'm not really too sure about what the benefit would be, so as far as the amount being reduced, I don't have a problem. I'm still not too sure though that this is the best place to put the money. If we don't have anything else to spend the money on, then I would say we spend $1,000. But if there's other items before the fiscal year is over, I would say to use other items that would more directly benefit the community.
Okay. Yes, Rick?
My only question is, I mean, I don't mind it going for emergency. But the thing is, it's from Cal State LA, correct?
Yes.
Okay, now, are those first responders are going to respond to the community, or are they going to respond to the students on campus? What benefit are we actually getting? Besides, if they're only going to respond to the students, that's their main priority, then Cal State LA is a state institution, they have plenty of money, and they should get their money from Cal State LA. Otherwise, you need to make sure that the community is safe, the residents. Okay, we don't have any other extra funding except what you're getting from the neighborhood council. Cal State LA has plenty of funding.
All right, thank you. Yes?
Yeah, my question on this item here, on the MPG, is this going to be a bilingual event, or is this just strictly for the English-speaking members of our community? So that's money you're being spent. We have a lot of people who speak Spanish in our community.
Okay, thank you. Any other public comment? Bruce?
Yes, please. My position is to not give Cal State LA any money for any reason until Cal State actually provides a benefit to our neighborhood or offers us a quid pro quo situation. I was here at the presentation that was given earlier. There is no guarantee at all that Cal State would service the local neighborhood. Only an unsubstantiated claim that 60% of participants would be from the 90032 area. The fact of the matter is Cal State won't give us a roll of toilet paper if there's an emergency. I have more equipment in my trailer for earthquake preparedness than what Cal State would deliver to us. They're concerned with their protection and their group. They're offering the same class that the fire department provides. The fire department didn't come to us looking for money for backpacks. So why is Cal State doing this? And, you know, look at what the backpacks entail. It's toys, safety vest, paperwork, a whistle, a few other toys. And that's fine. If that's what they call emergency preparedness, okie dokie. But there's no reason for us to fund it unless Cal State is going to make a solid commitment to protecting the neighborhood that surrounds them. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Thank you for the comment. All right, any other public comments? Any other public comments on this item? Item 11?
Just really quick, I know Stephanie is just in building some caution. I know that you know you're ineligible. You're a student of Cal State LA, is that right? So in an abundance of caution, I would ask you to recuse yourself as they take the vote because you're.
She's from Northridge.
Because in Northridge. Oh, no.
The state institution, the same.
No, well, that's the, no, so that's a different.
No, she's from Northridge.
Yeah.
Different and Cal State's different.
Okay.
She
Okay,
might
that's
make a vote
okay.
against it.
Well, no, that's the whole point. Is that there's in the future though, whenever we have those situations, we do ask to consult with city attorney, but then since you're eligible, just keep that in mind.
Excellent.
I have nothing against Arthur, my valley engineer.
So, back on to the discussion of this item, it's all coming back to me now. There was a very long discussion about the merits of funding this, whether we should, whether we shouldn't, right? But there's other things, and there's obviously some strong sentiment in the room that we should not fund this, that there would be no benefit to the community funding this. But then the other side of this is that we have funding in the MPG category. We've got to try to use it before the end of the year. And when is the fiscal year end? Tonight. June 30th, fiscal, so this is our one opportunity to spend this money. So those are things that you all should consider when you're making your decision. Do we just give this money back to the city? Do we let some people benefit from emergency preparedness class by getting a new backpack? So those are things for you to consider. Those are my comments. Is there any other board?
Mr. Chairman, if I may,
Well, hold on, sir, we're still having board discussion here.
well, yes, but I'd like to make a clarification because I had thought that the fiscal year had already ended. This changes the complexion of everything. If you still have a last-ditch effort to use funds, I'd like to retract my statements.
Okay. Okay, thank you. Any other board comments? Yes, Rob.
I've got several, so just bear with me. Number one, I think I'm a taxpayer. Well, I got a business. I'm relatively businesses here in El Sereno. We pay property taxes. We got other property. That's our money, taxpayer money. And to just spend it because you got to spend it, that's wrong. And I don't think any taxpayer would appreciate that. When I worked at the housing authority, we would get a memo, basically from management, spend the funds because next year it's going to cut us. And we'd sit there and spend money like crazy. And I thought that was such a waste. Because all that stuff that we spent, it did do very little for the community or for the people in the housing authority. A lot of people still went without any housing, but we were spending money like crazy. Okay, so that kind of upsets me a little bit when the idea of to spend this money because, it's the last of the year, we got to get rid of it. It's our money, meaning the taxpayers. Second of all, we had a meeting at La Cocina, as the people that were present there. We had a presentation by the gentleman from Cal State LA to come in. And at the time we asked him, and specifically with public safety, it was probably going to be difficult to be able to get this money for him. Especially because it was being pushed as kind of, we need to do it now. And he came back very honestly and said, no, he didn't really need to do this absolutely now. He also said that he would be willing to come back and work with us on an outreach program because there is a sentiment between Cal State and LA and the community. And I can tell you that because I went to Cal State LA, I graduated from Cal State LA. And I had a whole slew of offices that I had there as in student government. And there was always this animosity between Cal State LA and the community. Okay? So this gentleman said to us that he would be willing at the next part of the year to come back and do something that was a little bit better than just spending money on the backpacks. And at that point, and correct me if I'm wrong, Jack, we pretty much said to set aside this whole thing. And I don't know how it's coming back again here. And I think it's only because somebody's trying to spend money, and I think it's absolutely wrong to do that. Thank you.
Thank you for your comments. Any other board comment? Let's go to my left.
Yes, just for the record, we did have them come in April. They did come in and discuss with us April 17th. At La Cocina, we had our special general board meeting. We also did hear this. They had an application that they did provide with all the information that is required as every other MPG has done in the past. We did follow the process because actually MPGs are now within our responsibility to look at them and to make sure that we have all the information, and they were contacted and they did complete their process. So if you don't want to vote for it, I would suggest then you would just say no. And for everybody else that wants to vote for it, I would suggest that we just take the vote.
Okay, thank you. Any, yes, Dr.
I tried to get Cal State LA involved once. They referred me to the security department. I tried to post announcements of our neighborhood council meetings. And you might say, as soon as I got them up, they were taken down because nobody would tell me which person to get approval. So I say, yeah, it's the traditional students or the university versus the townies. And I say, I did my first 4 years where we were on the top of the hill and everybody else was down there. And I know the situation. For me, I would say, none. Make them show us what they're going to do in order to justify the expense to the city of LA. We are the city of LA. I say, I will vote no.
Dr. Tom, quick question. What year was that you tried to go down and post something on a bulletin board?
About 6 years ago.
6 years ago. Okay.
I would post them. It was one of our 5 locations.
Yeah, definitely. All right, any other board comment? Yes.
I had my reservations as well because I felt like that the money should stay here in 90032. And I know the gentleman reached out. He's trying to build bridges between Cal State, and we have his information. And he's new to the area, and so I think in a way too that it is building that gap and that bridge to open up communications where we could probably post things or ask him, if we could post things. And that was my concern as well, as the backpacks going to people who are here. So if we do have an emergency, they're able to assist or help us in the time of need.
Thank you. Thank you. Any other board comment? Board comments? No? All right, let's go ahead and vote on this. This is a funding item, so we need to do a roll call. And you, yes, can you do this?
Oh, yes.
Okay. Item 11.
Okay, Aaron Ostrom,
Yes.
Jackie Carrillo,
Yes.
Kathy Leal,
Yes.
Carla Flores,
Yes.
Miguel Vargas,
Yes.
Michelle Sanchez,
Yes.
Karina Cruz,
Yeah.
absent Tom Williams,
No.
absent Cynthia Sandoval. Yes. And Hugo Pacheco,
No.
and Anthony.
Absent.
So time is
822?
8-2.
820. Item passes 820. Item 11 to fund $1,000 to Cal State LA for emergency preparedness passes 820. Moving on.
Mr. President.
1,000. I have 63. The amendment did not pass.
The amendment,
The amendment
the
passed
initial
910,
amendment
yes,
passed.
it did.
It is.
We voted.
That's 910.
I'm correct.
Mr. President, as the maker of the motion for number 12, I'd like to withdraw
You'd like to withdraw?
my motion on number 12 agenda item.
Okay, so, we withdraw that, should we remove it from the agenda?
It automatically removes.
Okay.
I am the maker and I withdraw, and it doesn't take my second of my committee level to do it.
All right. I'll call this.
That doesn't work that way.
Yeah, it's on Robert's Rules, page 122. Mr. President, as the maker of the motion of number 13, I also would like to remove my,
Point of order. Point of order. Where does it state that she's the maker of the motion?
I trust that, she
No,
said,
that's not what I'm saying.
it doesn't say that, no. It
No, it does not say that.
It doesn't say that anywhere on this agenda.
So-
So, wait a minute.
So the president would, in this case, say, is there a motion for this? There might be that somebody else may want to make this motion here.
So, okay, so we have the original maker of the motion, and she'd like to withdraw that. Let's just ask Tom. Tom, what do you think?
It's right here on page 122, if you'd like to read it to everybody, it's about 3 paragraphs, not that long. It clearly states, the maker of the motion could withdraw, it doesn't need a second from the committee level.
But your board, wait, but then, your board decided to table this, they went to withdraw it.
Let's just, well, rather than do all that, get caught up in this, let's just, would somebody like to make a motion to table this item? Withdraw this item.
But the Robert's rules doesn't say to take a majority vote. The Robert's rules says something different.
Let's
And you
just,
can read it.
rather than get into a discussion about Robert's rules, let's just move on. So I'd actually like to make a motion to table item 12. Is there a second? We have a second? Okay, is there any public comment? Any public comment on removing item, tabling item 12? Any public comment? No? Any board discussion? Tabling item 12, any board discussion?
You guys are doing it wrong.
Okay,
Yes.
again, point of order. The agenda says there's a motion to be considered. The president would ask anyone, since there is no person bringing this up, would somebody like to make the motion? If nobody makes the motion, then it's dead.
No, we did.
So I made a motion.
Mr. President, if I may, Robert's rules clearly states that since no one has made the motion, it doesn't belong to the assembly, it still belongs to the maker of the motion, according to Robert's rules, page 122, right here, on a request for permission to withdraw or modify a motion. So I'm referring to permission to withdraw. It clearly states that these agenda items on here don't belong to the assembly yet. They belong still to that maker of that motion.
Michelle, I believe you 100%, but I don't want to get into a 30-minute discussion about Robert's rules right now, so let's just, we want the same thing, so there's.
It's just surprising me that some people here on the board claim they know Robert's rules, but all of a sudden they don't want to follow it.
Okay.
That's an insult to the board.
Okay.
And that's an insult to everyone.
Okay, comments please, comments to yourself. Here we go, everyone, we got an item before us, we have a second. We have some board discussion, any public comment on item 12? Any public comment on item 12, yes?
Yes.
Go.
I was just gonna say, if you don't wanna entertain the motion, just nobody makes a motion and let it die. That's
Okay.
it.
Okay, that's a good idea as well. So we do have a motion to table item 12. Any other board comment?
Yes.
Yes, let's hear your comment.
Once again, definition of the maker is the person that presents the motion to the table or to the assembly. If it does not get put forth, then it doesn't even get considered. So the maker, it's absolutely important to understand what the term maker means. There is no motion until a motion is made. Okay? So what the president says is, does anybody want to make a motion? If no motion is made, you move on to the next item. If there was no motion made, no motion seconded. Thank you.
Duly noted. Okay, let's vote on this item. Item 12, tabling item 12, all in favor, say aye. Tabling item 12, all in favor, say aye. Aye. All opposed? Any abstentions? Okay. The motion was seconded by Jackie. Okay. Item 12 is
And Mr. President, the reason why I went off by Robert's rules is because these items that are being withdrawn per Robert's rules, it clearly states it. These items don't have a purpose on the agenda because of the date that expired already.
Okay.
And obviously it's the dates that expired. So there's really no need to sit here and discuss something that already occurred.
Right, understood. Item 13, let's try this, let's try this one. Item 13, is there any motions for item 13? Does anyone have any motions for item 13? No motion? Okay, the item dies, moving on. Item 14, Arts and Culture Committee, 14A, action, motion that LA 32 co-sponsor with CB14, Councilman Weezer, fireworks show in the amount of $1,414 for the patriotic items such as U.S. flags, lapel pins, fans, hats, snacks, beverages, giveaways to the children, decorations, and all that good stuff. Would somebody like to make a motion? Item 14. Somebody like to make a motion? Yes. All right, Aaron, thank you. All of that, yes. Motion to approve item 14A. Is there a second? Okay, we have a second. Let's hear some public comment. Is there any public comment? Yes.
I mean, we're all of you asleep when we have somebody from the councilman's office that this was being put out by the councilman? Why should we have to spend money on this event if it's being put out by the councilman's office? we were addressed if this event was being put on by Councilman Weezer. Why should we put any money out? Because Councilman hasn't, come to, anybody can come to us to ask us for this money. I think we should just not vote on this.
Thank you. Any other public comment? Any other public comments? Okay, is there any board discussion?
Yes, I do have a comment. The last day to request a funding request was June 1st. So even if you all approve it, it ain't gonna happen. Because the last day to submit this was June 1st, and I was trying to save everybody all this time by withdrawing my motions according to Robert's rules, but you guys wanna go through all the channels.
So 14A, you're saying is if we approve this, it's not gonna get funded?
Any funding event form will be approved, and I've been telling everybody that.
Okay, so there's no point in approving this item then? So who, Aaron, would you care to withdraw your motion?
I would tend to.
Okay. Jackie?
Can you clarify what the deadline was? Was it just for events or is it for all funding?
For events on June 1st, event forms for events, June 1st.
Thank you.
All right, we're just waiting for Jackie. Jackie, are you in the house, Jackie? All right, so we're gonna wait just a few moments longer. So,
Go get her, yeah.
let's see, it's time 7:48. Okay, we're okay on time. Should we take a two? Oh, wait, we got everything down. Yeah. Okay, so, Kenny, would you like to withdraw your second from?
Yes, I withdraw my second.
Okay, she withdraws her second. So back to item 14, we have no motion. We have no motion on the table. Is that correct? Is there anyone like to make a motion? No motion. Okay, item 14 dies. No, that one. Item 15. Action and discussion. It's an action item. Discussion and possible action that the bylaws amendment and reaffirmment to increase board structure from 15 board members to 21 board members.
Yeah, I think I sent you the,
Yeah.
the deadline for the bylaw amendment was May the 1st. So items 15 and 16 is past the deadline, so just to let you know.
Okay.
No motions, let's go.
All right, you heard it from the man right there. We're on item 15. Would anyone like to make a motion? Okay, no motion. Great. Moving on, item dies. Item 16. We have a motion, discussion and possible action to approve the LA 32 NC bylaw amendments per recommendation of the LA 32 NC bylaws committee. See the attachments. All changes are in red. Would somebody like to make a motion? There's no action. Okay. Item dies. Moving right along. Item 17. This is an action item. Discussion and possible action that LA 32 authorize outreach committee to oversee and implement the change date, time, location, and $1,000 funding for the approval of LA 32 NC 15-year anniversary event and cancel the date May 20th, 2017 from 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. Would somebody like to motion? Would somebody like to make a motion? Dr. Tom moves to.
And to combine with the 18, because you have to have both of them together. They're for the same section. It's just a change in the funding and location.
So you're proposing an amendment, or should we just hear item 17 and 18? So here we go. 17, Dr. Tom moves to approve item 17, and we have a second. Who is the second? Jackie? Jackie? Okay. This is a funding item. Just checking with our treasurer here. This is, Michelle, we're still good on this? No?
So you guys want to go through the channel?
We have, we can't, well, we're asking for your guidance. If this item gets approved, are we able to do this or no? The answer is no?
No. That's why I'm trying to withdraw them, but you guys want to hear them and discuss them.
All right, so let's, We have a,
Point of clarification on that, we're going to request the president once again explain to us and the stakeholders why we can or cannot have these items heard. And I would ask that the treasurer, as a part of the executive committee, once again, tell us why we can or cannot have these things.
so the reason why is because we missed the deadline, the funding deadline. All these things, they get approved tonight, but then they gotta go through the done process.
Thank you.
City clerk.
So city clerk, okay, so we know
So-
there,
Sorry, for
No.
clarification, is it any event, so your board knows what they can and can't vote on, any event that's before next fiscal year, they can't even hear, because it's too late to submit an event form on it.
that
But
is,
the ones after the new fiscal year begins, you can hear, correct?
yes,
Michelle?
that is correct.
So the president can ask her. if you want us-
That is correct. So, okay, here we go. Item 17, there's no motions, right? Is there a motion somebody like to make for item 17?
Tom motion, so we have to withdraw the motion.
Dr. Tom withdrew his motion. So there are no motions. Okay, item 17 is done. Item 18, action, discussion, and possible action that LA32 host LA 32 NC 15 year anniversary on June 22nd. Fund up to $2,500. Is there a motion? No motion. Okay, moving on. We're done with item 18. Item 19, discussion and possible action related to formally requesting the city to install a no trespassing sign around Elephant Hill. This one came from the Land Use Committee, so we are recommending that we formally approve this and ask the city of Los Angeles to install no trespassing signs in and around Elephant Hill. Would somebody like to move this item forward?
I'll move for it.
Okay. We have a mover and a second. Is there any public comment on this item? Rejected. Any public comment?
Yes. So, hi, good evening once again. I'm Jorge Garcia. I think to support this item because the concern is that people with vehicles are going up on Elephant Hill and, off-roading and just eroding the hillside and making it kind of, natural balance is being disrupted because of the people off-roading on bikes and on four-wheel vehicles. And so neighbors there complain about the dust in the air and just, the noise. And I think that this is the first step into making it more natural safe area than having off-road. And these signs will allow the police and the city to enforce the no trespassing signs, rules. We have signs now. Before this, there's no signs, people just go through there. You can't really enforce it because it doesn't say that you're trespassing. But now you can signs up, it'll be a formal like notice. Stay out of it on vehicles. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for the public comment. That's something we talked about in the Land Use Committee. It's a big concern of people going out there and illegally dumping. And so we're hoping to kind of deter that type of behavior. So is there any other public comment? Any other board comment? All right, let's go ahead and vote on this item. All in favor of requesting, all in favor of formally requesting that the city of Los Angeles install these no trespassing signs, please raise your hand and say aye. Aye. Any abstentions? Okay, no abstains, any opposition? No opposition. Item passes unanimously. 10-0. Okay, item 20. Item 20, this is old business still. Discussion and possible action to authorize LA32's Land Use Committee Chair to submit public comments to the Board of Public Works related to black walnut trees from being removed from Eastern and Lombardi Hill. This item was given to us by a stakeholder. There is many of you might know there's a development happening at the corner of Eastern and Lombardi, and it's under review now, right? And there's a proposal to build, 40-something, 50-something houses, 42 houses. However, this stakeholder believes that black walnut trees were removed from this site and illegally, And they're asking that we submit public comments to the Board of Public Works saying, asking that they please investigate this. So, I don't, did we talk about this? No, this was something that was submitted, it was not talked about in committee, but it was submitted to me to put onto the agenda. And it's old business, so it got put on, must have been last month. Is there anyone who'd like to make a motion? Anyone not like to move this? Okay, Cynthia makes a motion to, and actually, I believe, no, okay, so we have a motion, is there a second?
Second.
Or a second? Is there any public comment? Yes, sir.
Board members, why are you taking this up? In the city of Los Angeles already has these as the black walnut trees protected. It's been on the city books for a while now. The black walnut trees in this city are protected. And second comment would be, if there's a vote on this, I ask Miguel to abstain since you work for the councilman's office, would be a conflict of interest. And Anthony should be the one who should be addressing this because he's the person that goes to the city as the liaison between Los Angeles, between this community and the city.
Thank you for your public comment. Any other public comment?
Please. As was mentioned, the city already has ordinances concerning California black walnut trees and a few other species that I'm not familiar with. Has the person that suggested this motion brought any evidence at all that California black walnut trees were removed illegally? And if he has not done that, I don't think it's a really good idea for you to call for an investigation of something that you have no factual knowledge of. Thank you.
So, just as some background information, the stakeholder's name is, we have one more public comment.
Yes, hi. Again, good afternoon or evening. So what I understand, there was a few black walnut trees removed from the top, and it was documented that they were there, the photos of what was before and after, and it went to this urban forest committee, yeah, and they were doing an investigation, and what we're doing now is just formally requesting that this be something stated that this happened, and as a community, that we oppose the removal of our trees that are protected. Because it did happen, there's photos that show before and after photos, and there's quite a few missing from the top section of the hill. Just a little background information. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for the background information. Yes.
I wasn't too sure if to comment or not because I don't quite remember exactly, but I want to say that this item was in the Urban Forestry Committee, and I'm really sure it was addressed. I went to one of the meetings because I was interested in this item. However, at that particular meeting, they did not address it, and so I don't know if there was ever a follow-up on whether they did address that item. So I do think it is an item that is possible that the NC submit a comment. I don't know if it necessarily has to be from the land use chair or Anthony, but I think a public comment requesting, the matter to be looked into, since they were removed and there are photos. I definitely think something needs to go up.
Okay. So yes, I agree that we should follow the bylaws, and so whoever is the designated person to make these comments should make the comments, and I believe that it's the president. So this item would be to allow the president to formally ask the Board of Public Works to investigate the removal of these black walnut trees from the hill located at Eastern and Lombardi. I can tell you right now, I'm not going to make these comments, and I'll just ask Anthony to make them. Yes, we will.
First of all, it doesn't say investigate, so the action is kind of nebulous as to what kind of action we want. The other thing is that there is 3 protected trees, the sycamore, the bay, and the walnut. Okay.
We're talking about black walnuts.
No, no, but to answer the stakeholders' question. The question that I have, because I believe that if you take one walnut tree out, you can plant 2 as a substitute. That's something that needs to be investigated, because removing them is not a good thing, but then there is fines, but you can do some kind of, makeup by putting 2. And so, what is it that we really want from this? It doesn't really tell us what the action is, other than to say, hey, some trees were removed. That was it.
Yes. This has all been hashed out through 2 tree reports that were done for the previous mitigated negative declaration and the current mitigated negative declaration. And it requires them to provide 4 walnut trees to compensate for the 8 that were illegally or without permit removed.
1.5? 1.5? 8 removed and 4 replaced?
No,
Double.
8 removed and 4 for each of the 8 that were removed, rather than the 2. So it's already been handled. Close of comments were last Friday or Thursday for the Eastern and Lombardy site, which includes a major element of, there's no landscaping plan for it.
Let's stay on topic here. Item 20, there's a lot of comments, a lot of board discussion. We can make comments to the Board of Public Works at any time regarding the removal of trees. If we approve this item, I will connect to Anthony and make sure he knows what the comments and sentiments that we're trying to convey here, which is that an investigation should be approved. An investigation should be conducted on the removal of these trees. So there is a motion to approve this. Any other board discussion? All in favor, say aye. Aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? All those who abstain? 2 abstentions. 802. Item passes. Item 21. So we're on to new business.
Vice President?
Yes.
Before we do new business, I'd like to make a motion for item 32. And C, to discuss and possible action on the means of proper acceptance of motions that are brought forth through committees to executive committee. Meeting for agenda setting of the general board agenda.
That's a.
I second that.
I'm sorry. That's an item. What was your motion?
I wrote it down, sorry. She's making a motion before new business, so
So
she makes a motion and someone seconds. We vote for it to go into the other.
Oh, okay. Okay, one more time.
Okay. So, a motion for LA 32 and C to discuss and possible action on the means of proper acceptance of motions that are brought forth through committees to executive committee meeting for agenda setting of the general board agenda. General board.
So you'd like this to appear on the new business section of the next agenda? Okay.
I'll second.
All right, and we have a second. Okay. Is there do we need board discussion? If we do, is there any comments, public comments? Yes.
You're tired of me over here, but, so what's going on is that, during executive committee, some of the items, the old business and the new business, they're not all on the agenda. So as a stakeholder, I'm not aware of everything that we discussed, in the board meeting. So we're asking for it to have a transparency, that all the items we put on there, old and new, so that when we go, we know what's coming up, what the board is looking at for the general board meeting. That's what we're talking about, right? Okay. So I think this is a good thing, so that we have transparency, and we as stakeholders know what it is that hasn't been discussed at the last meeting, and what's going to be discussed at the next meeting. So that there's clarity all the way through. Thank you.
Got it. Understood. Thank you for your public comments. Any other public comments? Any board discussion?
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, I may not be too fast here, but kind of, if you wouldn't mind, kind of explain the motion. I mean, it was so fast.
Oh, sorry. Okay.
What is exactly is it trying to do? I mean, I don't know what the action is.
So what Mr. Garcia just explained, just to make sure that we're having all the stuff put on the agenda and letting everybody else know, the stakeholders, we are able to move business along and keep moving forward.
What's agenda?
Executive board.
So, all right, I mean, can I comment real quick on that? So, the idea is that
the executive committee agenda is going to be prepared far enough ahead of time so that the stakeholders and ourselves will know what's on that agenda. Is that correct?
That's what it sounds like, yes.
So that would be that at least 72 hours, which is something I've been fighting for a long time. So all these items from committees must come in before the 72 hours. Because that should be the practice rather than right, what we've been doing with all these special meetings. So hopefully at that point we get this motion put together so that by a specific date, the committees are able to submit their thing. Now, the other thing is, can I finish? The other thing is, okay.
Well, you know what, though, we're not, yeah, all we're doing is putting this, we're just trying to put this on the agenda for the next, we're trying to put this item on the next agenda. Now's not the time to talk about the merits of it, but it's certainly.
What's the action then?
The action is to put this item as a discussion item on the next agenda.
Okay, without going to the committee?
Yes. So at that time, we'll discuss the.
Yeah, I just want to clarify that, because in your bylaws, you have the executive committee sets the agenda. The president prepares the agenda with the assistance and approval of the executive committee. Now, the question always comes down to is, how does committee members or stakeholders get things onto the agenda? In your bylaws, it states how stakeholders can get the item before the agenda, but it's not very clear on how board members can get things onto the agenda. So I think current practice right now is that board members must come to the committee, the executive committee, to present their motions. Now, if you keep doing that, then that means you might have a majority of the board there, and then you get to post as a joint board/committee meeting. So my recommendation is that don't talk about it right now, but put it on the agenda, but do some standing rules and some guidelines so everyone's on the same page. Okay? So I'll leave it at that.
Understood. Now it makes sense. Okay. So, any other public comments? No? All right.
Okay, I guess I gotta clarify. My concern is like, let's say those that are here, like stakeholders leave early, and we don't know how far the board got. So my concern is that what's in the committee, the old business we put on there, so we know how far. Not the new business, of course. Doesn't make sense. You have, how many months we come up in the committee. But the old business, we know how far the board got in the last meeting, so we know what items are still left to discuss. That's what I wanted to see on the agenda. That's the new business. Yeah, that doesn't make sense, but you don't know yet. Thank you.
Mr. President, former President Jen Markovich and Marlene Fonseca were putting that on the agenda. That's how we were practicing it since 2013. And even email stuff was being sent, which that's how the practice was. But things just changed, so it's just kind of making it hard to function again.
This is getting us back to where we were. Okay. Excellent. Well, all in favor then, if there's one more comment here. Sure, why not? Go ahead.
You said all in favor?
Oh, I'm sorry.
Following what you said.
Okay, all in favor, say aye. Aye. Unanimous. Okay, approved. Yeah, so the motion Jackie made, and that's going to be on the next agenda. Okay, now item 21. Sorry, I thought you had one more. 21. Motion that LA32 purchase a laptop carrying case for corresponding secretary not to exceed $200. Let's hear the background information. Sorry. Is there a motion to move this forward? Is there a motion?
That LA32 agency purchase a laptop carrying case for corresponding secretary. Are you one? No. Corresponding? Oh, it's Cynthia. Not to exceed 200.
Okay.
Second.
We have a second. All right, is there some background?
Yes. Well, of course, this item that I'm asking for is not to exceed $200. I did do diligently homework and showing you all what the bag would look like. If some of them are 65, some of them are 75. Doesn't mean that we're going to spend the entire $200, but at least there's a cushion for either shipping or handling or whatever it might be. So I have the picture here. The reason I have wanted this on the agenda, that I did go through the process with the executive board, is because when I hand over this laptop, in the past I received the laptop in very bad condition. And so I don't use this on personal use whatsoever. I put it inside of a cabinet so that it's never touched by any other person. But when I need to come here for other meetings, I don't carry it with me because I'm afraid that it could get damaged. And this would be beneficial to the next person that takes over the laptop. We can continue to keep it in some type of carry case so that it's not dropped, damaged, or any other reasons. But like I said, I did go on the internet. I did submit that to Anthony through email. We did present it at the executive board, and I just asked that the board approve this so that we can protect our investments as far as our computers are concerned. Thank you.
All right. So we have a motion and a second. Any public comments on this item? Yes, sir.
Two things. Can we check with the city to see if we can get a carrying case from the city? Purchase it from the city? Because we have surplus in the city. If not, check the most inexpensive way to check to go to Amazon. But we do have a surplus in the city.
Are you sure? Any other public comments? Any other public comments? Any board discussion? Board discussion on this item? No? Okay, let's go ahead and vote on it. It's a funding item, so we do have to do a roll call. Oh, Malcolm? Hope you feel better? We'll hold after this one. Yeah.
Okay. Aaron Ostrom?
Yeah.
Debbie Carrillo? Yes. Pepe Guerra? Carla Flores? Miguel Vargas?
Yes.
Michelle Santos?
Yes.
Karina Cruz?
Yes.
Jose absent. Tom Williams?
Abstain.
Marcia Guzman? Oh, sorry.
It's okay, abstain.
Okay. Cynthia Sandoval?
Yes.
And Hugo?
Yes.
So, that's going to be
902, the item passes. Excellent. Thank you, Karen. Great. Moving on to item 22, discussion and possible action that the LA 32NC fund up to $70 for 1,000 business cards for board director Aaron Ostrom. Funds to be taken from the fiscal year 2016-2017 operating category. Somebody like to move this item forward? We have a mover and a second.
I like it.
Hold on, wait, you'd like to amend it? Okay.
I like, oh,
So would you like to withdraw your?
no, go forward.
Okay. Okay, so we're
I was
discussing.
waiting for you to say discussion second.
Okay, discussion.
So I'd like to amend, and I'd like to add Board Director Stephanie Escobar, and I'd like to increase the amount to 150. That's my amendment.
Okay, we have an amendment, and we have a second? We have a second. So now we're discussing amending item 22. Is there any public comment on the amendment? Yes, yes, sir.
Michelle, you said to increase it to 150. If we could get 1,000 for $70, wouldn't that be 140? Instead of 150?
All right, any further public comment? Any other public comment? Any other public comment? Okay, any board discussion? Any board discussion on this item?
Can we get clarification on this comment regarding the cost?
So, yes. Yes, yes, okay. So, treasurer, hold on, we got a question here. Treasurer,
Why is it 150? Because I figured taxes. Yeah, that's why I said 150, obviously, you know.
Yeah, just to be
That's why I
safe.
said to be safe.
Up to 150, right? Yeah, so it's even if you don't use it all, it just gives you a little cushion there. Okay. Google?
Now, on the funding, help me out a little bit, Ms. Goodman. Funding for events is over. But funding for other things like office equipment and stuff, that's okay? Other budget?
I see Tom back there shaking his head, so.
Someone else?
Treasurer, Ms. Treasurer, yes?
Yeah, June 11 is the last day to use a credit card. And since this is an operational expense, we don't need to send a check to these people or request the funding. We would most likely use the credit card for this expense. And Business and Economic is most likely going to use the credit card before June 11th with the restaurant that will let us pay them now, and then they'll deliver the food on June 23rd.
Got it. So it's a difference of having the city have to write a check versus using the credit card. Okay, understood.
Last day to write a check is,
Yeah, first.
The
Understood.
credit card's the last thing you, I think the credit card,
June 11th.
right, that's the last thing you give for funding, was 11.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you for the clarification. All right, so then we're voting on the amendments to amend item 22, so that it's $150, not 70, and then also adding Stephanie Escobar. So any other board comment? All right, let's go ahead and vote on this, on the amendment. All in favor, say aye. Aye. All those opposed? Any opposition? Any abstentions? One abstention. All right. So 10-01. Yeah, 10-01. All right, the item has been amended. Item 22, discussion and possible action that LA 32 fund $150 for 2,000 business cards for Aaron Ostrom and Stephanie Escobar. Would somebody like
I
to?
moved that motion already, 31 seconds.
No, you don't need to move forward, we're already there.
Okay, sorry. Back to the original. Is there any public comment? Any public comment on this item approving $150 for business cards for our 2 board members? Yes, one public comment.
Just, this is a smaller amount, just be careful when you do up to amounts that it goes higher than the amount that's listed on the agenda for the amount. For example, if you have a MPG, that's for $1,000, for $5,000, you can always go lower, but you should not be doing motion to amend the MPG from 5,000 to 10,000. So that's a huge difference there. So just keep that in mind as you do increases, just be very careful.
That's a good rule of thumb. Thank you. Thank you, Tom. All right, so here we have the item before us. Any other discussion? No? All right, let's go ahead and vote on it. And this is a funding item, so we need to do a roll call.
Aaron Armstrong. Jordi Carrillo.
Yes.
Kathy Leas. Yes. Perla Flores. Yes. Miguel Vargas.
Yes.
Michelle Sanchez.
Yes.
Karina Cruz.
Yes.
Tom Lawrence. Yes. Marcia Guzman. Cynthia Sandoval.
Yes.
And Hugo Pacheco.
Yes.
10-01.
10-01. Excellent. That item passes 10-01. And since our CEO was not here in the beginning, she has a announcement to make.
I just wanted to say that Luma State Festival was very successful. We were able to get input regarding what would encourage people to shop in El Sereno. We were also able to survey a lot of the vendors. So Sonia and I are going to be compiling that information. I also want to thank Jackie for helping us hand out things, Anthony and Perla who were there. And I also want to thank Michelle who came out to help us buy the items before that day. So, and also, Sonny unfortunately was not able to come. He has more magazines. I wanted to get one to everybody on the board, so we can kind of split these up, and then Sonny can bring them next time. I did also want to acknowledge that we did receive Michelle's email, and we'll be making sure to bring the inventory back very shortly. And we also are, Sonny and I are meeting tomorrow in the restaurant to see about that item in terms of making sure that we get food for the restaurant. I'm not feeling well, so I just wanted to pop in to give you guys a report on that item.
Thank you for coming.
And then we have the add-ons on page 20.
I was just gonna say, can you show the public the ad that we paid
So
for?
Sonny put this together, and it's really nice because there's a hyperlink to the survey, which we're going to continue to use. It was great for us to kind of get out and do an initial survey to get some we were able to see where we kind of want to change some things and maybe do a targeted one to people shopping in El Sereno and also a business one. So please feel free to go to the link and check it out. If you have any comments or feedback, both Sonny and I, I'm sure, would be very interested in hearing from everybody. So thank you.
Marcia, I have one other point. Will you be at the not the 4th of July, the Independence Day Post Parade event, maybe possibly talking to other people?
Yeah, I'm sure Sonny and I would love to be there to talk to more people. We'll make sure to coordinate our schedules on that. I can't say for sure, but we'll.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming as well. Okay, item 22 has been approved. Now we're moving on to item 23. motion that LA 32 purchase branding items for the upcoming LA 32 events not to exceed $1,000 from the Economic Committee funds. Somebody like to move this item?
Executive.
I'm sorry, Executive Committee fund. Would somebody like to move this item forward? Yeah, Cynthia.
Oh, I said it, I move the item, motion that LA 32 and C purchase brand items for upcoming LA 32 and C events not to exceed $1,000 from executive committee funds.
And is there a second? Any seconds?
Mr. President, I'd like to amend.
Okay.
I'd like to increase the amount from 1,000 to 1,847 and 20 cents.
Okay, we have an amendment, a proposed amendment from $1,000 to $1,800. Is there a second?
18 and what minute?
Up to
1,800.
47 and 20 cents.
Oh, and
1847 and 20 cents.
also 1847 and 20 cents. Okay, is there a second? Is there a second? Would somebody like to second? And Jackie seconds. Okay, is there any public comments on that item? Yes, sir.
When it comes to money, I'm a tight one, so I'll always be up here. But I want transparency. What items are you gonna purchase for what event? You're asking for money for something, we don't know what date, what items you're buying. Transparency, folks. Tell us what items you're gonna purchase and for what date.
Okay, thank you for your public comment. Any other public comment? Any other public comment? All right, board discussion. Michelle, would you like to, since you're the maker of the amendment, you give us or actually, what committee is this from?
You want me to explain
Yes,
my
yes.
amendment? Sure, I can justify my amendment. Justification of the amendment, I'm going based off the balance that we have. I'm just trying to make the best, so none of the funds go back to the city of LA. So that's why I keep making these amends on today, so we can make the best use of it. And that's taking already, calculating, the 1,000 we just approved for Cal State, the business economic that we're going to do before June 11th with the credit card, the $200 that we just approved as well. We also have still Aaron Devendry, we need to pay him for his services because Empower LA finally authorized that we can use him. All these go into place that this is what the remaining balance will be if once obviously we approve them and we start making these expenses tomorrow, we will be left with $847.20. If we don't approve it, then $847 will go back to the city of LA, and that's fine with me too, because they use it for a good purpose, the city of LA. So if you guys don't want to go for it, just don't vote or amend, and I don't mind sending it back to the city of LA too. But I was just trying to keep it here.
And do we have a sense of what type of branding items we'll be using?
It's the same ones that we have stored here that right now Marcia has them in her possession, which is t-shirts, lanyards, bags, cups, anything that has an item that will have our name. Any items of branding.
Branding item, okay.
Yeah.
And we give these out of.
We've been using for Imprint, that's the company we've been using. It's a website for it.
And these branding items, we go to events and we pass them out to people in the neighborhood.
When we put our booth, this is how we give them out, and sometimes we put them here in our meetings. So.
Okay, understood, excellent, great. So we have this, any other board comment?
I would just ask that if we can get some writing pens with LA 32 on it, some writing pens, so when people are writing, they know that, LA 32, keep us in mind.
That's a good idea.
Yeah, I actually had submitted to Jen Markovich a list of all the things that I had suggested, and I think I still have that list. So Michelle, yeah, I'm sorry, I know I sent it to her, and I'm not sure what she did with it, but I still have my own list, so we can get together and we can, it's basically pencils, pens. We did also do bookmarks for the education committee, I know that, there's a few others, crayons, coloring books, lapel. We were also talking about getting our name tags, so that when we go out in public, we have our name that's actually engraved on a name tag. So we'll see, but I do have that. So if anybody else here on the board has any suggestions, just go to forimprint.com. If you need any other information, you can always reach me.
Excellent, thank you. Yes, we go.
Yeah, a couple of comments. Number one, again, should not be spending money in taxpayers unless we absolutely know what we're going to do for it. Okay? The other thing is, and correct me if I'm wrong, but the budget says that the executive committee only has $1,500. We've already spent some of that money. Now, in terms of fairness, this is important. You know, I kept requesting that the Public Safety Committee money not be not touched, and yet my budget was cut over and over again. Now, it is not fair to suddenly, without a motion, increase the Executive Committee's budget simply because we did not meet or give even an opportunity for even the public safety to try to get something going. So I absolutely will not vote for this in terms of only whatever remains in the Executive Committee budget. That's the only thing that should be allowed to spend for this on motion. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for the comment. Any other board comments? Any other board comments? Okay, we've got a motion to amend item 23 to increase it from $1,000 to $1,847.20. Seeing no more board comments, let's go ahead and vote on this item. All in favor of amending item 23, please raise your hand and say aye. Aye. 1, 2, 3, 6, 7. I count 7 ayes. All those who are opposed, say nay. Raise your hand and say nay. Okay, 2 opposition. Any abstentions? And 1 abstention. All right. So the item, the amendment passes 7-1. Okay, so the item has been amended. We are now considering approving $1,847 to be spent on branding items. Is there any public comment on spending $1,847 on branding items? And 20 cents, and 20 cents. Don't forget the 20 cents. Any public comment?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Did Michelle or one of the board members just say we have some of the stuff up in storage? Some of the things you're asking for? So why are we spending that much money if we haven't gotten rid of the other stuff yet? Simple math. Check what you have first, and then, I know we have a deadline because with the city, how much money you have to spend. But if you have these items already, why are you spending so much? Check what you have on hand, come back, and, you should let the board members and the stakeholders know what you guys have on hand before you start spending this money.
Thank you for a public comment. Any other public comments? Any other public comments? Any board discussion on this item?
I just want to reiterate what I said before, there is not enough money in an executive committee budget for this amount. We had to do that first before you can make it. That's what we did to every other committee, folks. Why is this an exception?
Any other comments? Any other board comments? Let's see here. And all right, let's just go ahead and this is a funding item, so let's go ahead and do a roll call.
Aaron Armstrong. Jackie Carrillo.
Yes.
Kathy Gad. Perla Flores. Miguel Vargas.
Yes.
Michelle Santos.
Yes.
Karina Cruz. Tom Williams.
No.
Cynthia Sandoval.
Yes.
Hugo Pacheco.
No.
And
7-1. Item passes. Moving on, item 24. Motion that the LA 32 Neighborhood Council approve the 2017-2018 budget package that is due to Empower LA July 1st, 2017. Packet includes strategic plan fiscal year 2017-2018, budget for the fiscal year 2017-2018, neighborhood council outreach survey for the fiscal year 17-18, and neighborhood council self-assessment for fiscal year 2015-2016. See attachments A through E through 3. A through E through 3, I believe. Yes. A through E3. There we go. A through E3. Yes, please, Ms. Treasurer, would you mind giving us some background on this?
Okay, so we sent an email to the entire board with these attachments blank. We sent working document. We sent asking that they contact the treasurer individually, since Budget and Finance took the lead on recommending the budget packet. And we asked for your feedback, and we specified that when you do reply, no serial meeting, you do individual email. Or you can bring your concerns here, whichever you like, but just for the record, I did maybe 4 emails, and the 4th one was the day before I asked my colleagues to give me their recommendation before we met. May 23rd was that deadline that I asked them because me and my committee met on May 25th. Nobody sent any recommendations, just so you know. Maybe you guys have something here. It is a long working packet. It is due on July 1st, so we do need to work on this today, and I ask that you guys, work on it and come to an agreement to approve it, because we need to send it by July 1st. What happens if we don't send it by July 1st? They will freeze the account, and we will not be able to use any funds whatsoever, none. And to get our funds unfrozen might take not just like day overnight, the president calls or Tom calls, no. It takes a process for it to go back on, so that would be pretty wrong to do that to our community, because we have a lot of items coming up that are funding items for the next few months. Something really nice for them all. Thank you.
Michelle, I'd like to ask a few questions. So, just to make sure I understand, if we don't approve this tonight, we're gonna have our funding frozen.
Because we'll have nothing to submit to the
Okay,
first.
so understood. The next question, let's say we approve this now, and then in a month, we decide we want to make a change here or a change there. Are we able to do that?
Yes.
Yes, you
Yes?
can.
We just made something into us.
Yes, you
Okay.
can.
Budget.
It's a budget, so we gotta
Well,
get,
it's not just the budget, it's the outreach plan, the budget packet. I mean, it's not there right now.
It's not just the budget numbers, it's also the
Strategic plan.
outreach survey, it's also the self-assessment. Everybody has copies.
Okay.
okay, so you heard that's it, that's the story. If we don't get this in now, it's gonna freeze our funding, and if there's changes to be made, we can change them in the future. So my suggestion is that everyone take these amendments home and study them, and come back next month.
They were given to them in May 13th.
And you had some time already, but in case you didn't, go home, study them again, and then we'll have if there's something you'd like to see change, we can certainly do that. But my recommendation is gonna be that we approve this now. So is there any, there's somebody who'd like to make a motion?
It is.
Oh, I'm sorry, we already knew this. We already knew this before. Is there any public comment? Any public comment, seeing none, any, board discussion?
Yeah. I read the whole thing. Have you guys read it?
It was given to the board.
Is there any board discussion?
Oh, yes. On this particular budget, I noticed that the executive committee and the bylaws committee get no money. Is that correct?
What page are you looking at?
Attachment B. That was called. Attachment B.
It could be a change.
I'm getting this. I just want to make sure that's my next. It's a follow-up. Is that correct?
That's what it looks like. That's, it has $0 for executive committee, $0 for bylaws.
So, if we need to give them some money, and I'll tell you why, because I used to have the bylaws committee a while back. And in order to be able to let the public know about bylaws, we printed up all the changes and gave anyone in the public who wanted it. So I had to go out, we had to have money to pay for that, okay? So I'm going to make sure that the money is there. Now, would the money come from the other committee's budget? Or would that money, let's say for instance, bylaws, maybe $500, that's what cost us the last time, to print up these bylaws for the public. Would that come from the other category? Can we move it from, let's say, 100 to 200? Or does it stay within those categories? That's my question.
Yes.
I'd like to answer that. For the record, I am the corresponding secretary, and I am the one that actually prints out the bylaws. So whatever working bylaws we have right now, I have copies with me if you'd like to have a copy for yourself. They have all the corrections that were presented, and they were not actually submitted. We missed the deadline. Unfortunately, those are working bylaws right now. Since we did not submit anything, this is what we have to work with. If you would like a copy, I have them here, but I'm the one that makes the copies. I have been provided with plenty of ink, so there will be no money used for printing the bylaws. I am in charge of that. So that, I hope that answers your question.
That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that.
No, your question was, are we going to use $500 to print out bylaws copies?
No, that's not what I said. That's not what I
Yes, you did, you just
No, I
said
said
that.
I
Okay, I'm sorry.
I said that I used $500 in printing because it would take forever for one printer to print these things. So I went down to a local printer right here, and out of my budget, out of the right that I have to bite off, I printed them all up to make sure that everybody got, not just us, everybody got a copy of it, okay? So what I'm saying is, yes, we can increase this money, but will it come, let's say for instance, can we move money from operations to outreach, or outreach over to community improvement? Or is that also, are we able to modify those amounts as well?
You're able to, yes.
But if you're
Mr.
asking
Let's ask the administrator to answer.
And we can change this. This is not set in stone. We vote on it today. You can email the Budget and Finance Committee and say, I would like to recommend to move this here or that there or at this or at that. It's a working document. It's not written in stone where it could never, ever be changed. And also, we should not be buying things out of our pocket because we cannot give donation to the board. We're not supposed to give donation, like, I want to go buy a bunch of pins for next week. We can't do that. We're not allowed to. If you look at your ethics training, it says you're not supposed to do that. Paper, we have, I think, maybe two boxes of 10 reams left in the public storage. And this is why I try to put on the agenda at the executive committee to vote for supplies and paper, which was 15 boxes of 10 reams inside, because we are running low on paper, but we'll most likely do that for next fiscal year. Cynthia and I are the ones that have the computers for Alley 32. Cynthia and I have a lot of ink. Cynthia and I print if we need anything. If you need a flyer, then you would move it forward with your committee to do a flyer with a vendor. Or we can do the flyer, but it'll be on regular paper, not that shiny glossy one. But we do have maybe 2 boxes left at the public storage. I have 3 rings left. I don't know what Cynthia has left, but we do have enough ink to take us maybe for another 2 months, is what I calculated, because the ink does go a lot with all these copies that you have before you and all the copies on the wall. So we can change this. If you want to change it now, amend and change now. Or we can change it next month if anybody makes a recommendation to Budget and Finance Committee.
So we are able to make changes, any kind of changes we want in the future. Okay.
Yeah, as long as the city clerk gets a copy.
Every time we amend it.
Right, you can amend it anytime as much as you want.
Thank you for the clarification. We got one more comment.
Another question, because I thought when I was printing all this stuff up, you know, it's nice that you guys are able to print this stuff out for yourself, but it's costing me, and is that considered donation when I print all this stuff at home?
I think you're off on a different topic here, but, so that's.
Well, it was because, it was said a minute ago that we cannot give a donation, right? And I'm looking at myself saying, I print all kinds of stuff at home. So I don't want to be in violation of anything, right? Don't print.
If you need something print, just bring it to us, as long as the board has approved something that you need, let us know, we'll print it.
Yeah, the copy.
Wait a minute, Hugo, you might have been in violation? Is that what you're saying?
Right.
No.
That's our life.
Sure, I might be in violation. I was not told it was.
Motion to adjourn.
Full closure. No, this is why, the board has a key card, okay? And you have operational, this is under operational expenses, copies are under operational expenses. And which you don't need to approve, you don't need to come back, okay, let's approve 50 copies for this and that, right? It's under operations. This is where you would have the secretary or someone figure out if there's some guidelines on how to spend that, use the card.
That would be a standing rule as well, right?
Well, you have operations. Usually whoever has the card will go ahead and make the copies.
So there are different ways to make sure we're printing what we need to print.
Yeah, but I think that the challenge is that if you make your own copies and you're expecting the board to reimburse you, that's not gonna.
No, that's not what I'm saying. The way it was stated is that could be a violation because I printed my own stuff. Should have been something that should be given to me by the board.
Next time, use a card. Just be safe.
We'll be safe. Better be safe than sorry. All right, thank you. All right, so do we get a motion to approve the budget? Any other comments? Any other comments? Seeing none? This is a funding item, so.
No, it's not.
It's not? Okay. It's a board vote. Aha, there we go. Let's, all in favor?
Aye.
Raise your hand and say aye. Aye.
He's getting familiar with their names and faces, so, you know.
Looks like it's unanimous, so that's everybody.
Yeah.
And 0-0. Pretty much it. That's okay. All right, approved. Congratulations, the budget is approved.
I'll be submitting that to the original.
And Michelle will be submitting that. Thank you, Madam Treasurer. Madam Treasurer. Item 25. Item 25. Motion that LA 32 NC Board oppose the Vista El Sereno project with the case number listed there, and CEQA negative declaration, case number listed there. I recommend that the LA 32 Board oppose the proposed project unless amended and supported by a more adequate, complete CEQA document and public involvement. Dr. Tom, would you like to give us 2-minute explanation on what this is about?
This is the third go-around for the hill at Lombardi and these.
Can you speak on there? I can't.
Put the mic on.
Speak so loud, please.
Hi, this is the third go-around for the proposed project to develop the hill at Eastern and Lombardi. They have tried various ways and they've met with a lot of opposition. They submitted a quote, current project description that was basically one drawing. No landscaping plan, no infrastructure plan, no grading plan, but they're going to move 78,000 cubic yards of dirt from the hill. That's roughly 7,800 round trips on Eastern to Valley to the 710. So that's a pretty big impact, but it can be mitigated by complying with all of the LADOT regulations. I don't believe them. They don't have the documentation to it. They don't have the stuff in file to support their claim of no significant impact. A central issue is all of the trucks have to come out and go in on Eastern at the little driveway that's there. So we have a basic problem. It's, I say, a poorly developed project. We don't know a lot of what's going to happen, and we have to trust the Board of Public Works, the Board of Building and Safety, and a few others to protect our assets.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for the update. So, would somebody like to move this item forward? Item 25, would somebody like to move this item? Dr. Tom moves, Jackie seconds. Okay, is there any public comments on this item? Yes. Sure. It's
Eastern Lombardi.
right on the corner of Eastern and Lombardi. The
southeast corner.
Southeast corner.
That's the one before the hill, right?
That's the
It's
exactly
the hill.
It's the hill.
Oh, the hill.
They want to tear the hill down and build houses.
It's, the current version is better than what they had proposed at the very beginning, but it's still 78,000 cubic yards of dirt have to be graded and removed from that hill. And there are retaining walls between the existing residences on the east and south side, and they're going to get hammered. So it's a matter that they have to do a better job. The current plan is basically to protect the entire hill slope facing the recreation center. So that's a good thing. However, it devastates the back side and the south side and the residents next to it.
We got a short time here, Dr. Tom. Any more public comments? No? Yes?
So with the number of trips and number of cubic yards being removed, which actually went up from the previous plan that they had, there's also a concern about parking because only I think the 42 homes will have 2 parking spots and there'll be no street parking. So if you have a party or you have an event or something at each home, then where they're gonna go, for people that show up for the party or for any visitors. And so people are worried about the impact that'll have on the surrounding streets. And also I think that the plan they gave us this past time was just a sheet. There was no detailed information of what would it look like from the view of the street or from the view of, you know, of people living around the project. So I think they needed to do a better job of presenting to us exactly what it is they wanted to do and have a look how tall the homes would be, because there would be 2 stories, not just one. So people weren't aware of that. So I think that they have to come back and do a better job of presenting to us the project and what exactly it's going to look like once it's completed, if completed. So, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Sounds like we have one more public comment.
I just want to let the board know that the proposed developments have been overwhelmingly opposed by the community. And this last presentation, aesthetically, it was worse than the previous proposals that they have. The homes, you can really tell they're like small lot homes, and they look more like tract homes. They're like right next to each other, and it really didn't look nice. And parking was like a big concern. I think that would be horrible. But yeah, I think I would ask the board to support the motion in opposition, and that's all I have.
Really quickly, I know you guys are really short. I'm not completely opposed to this project. I'm also not completely for it. There's good components to it, and then there's a lot of work to be done. I think you guys are going to probably support this the motion, and I think that's okay. But I do want to caution you, or just give you maybe a little heads up, and be prepared as a community to, you know, it's going to be a recommendation you're making, obviously, that they'll consider at the level that where he's taking it and where he needs to get the variances he needs, and Tom could probably explain this better. But in the case that it's not approved, he owns that land and could do what he wants. That doesn't require the hillside to be removed, which could possibly be some apartments. So just be prepared to, or maybe try and keep a good relationship, something.
That's a very good point. As the chair of the land use committee, I can tell you that I personally don't support the project as it's being presented. There's a lot of issues that we've already talked about. I won't go too much into them, but yeah, the removal of the soil, the number of trips, the lack of parking, and then also there's a sense that these houses don't fit the character. What's being proposed doesn't match the character of the surrounding neighborhoods. A lot of other issues, and also this developer's track record with his allegedly removal of the black walnut trees. All of those things kind of factored into the consideration and the recommendation. All right, so we have this item here. Any more public comment? Seeing none, any more board discussion? No? All in favor? Say aye. 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 Okay, all opposed? Or abstaining? We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 people present. And 2 board members absent because they're standing in back. All right. Approved. Item 25. Item 26.
Actually, I'm recused, okay?
He either recused himself. Okay, item 26.
Not accused, recused.
He has to publicly tell us he has to walk out the door.
Okay, now you were absent. It's all right, it doesn't matter. Move item 26. Motion, discussion and possible action for LA 32 NC to support and appoint public safety committee members Jose Luna, Angela Duarte as LA 32 NC liaisons and alternative liaisons respectively into the Hollenbeck CPAB.
I make that motion.
Second.
We have a motion mover and a second. Is there any public comment?
Mr. President, I did seek advice of the city attorney. I am a board member of the CPAP board, and I did seek advice of the city attorney, and Elise Rubio said, I have no financial gain. I am not the chair of CPAP or a co-chair, so I am able to sit down and vote.
Okay, excellent. So is there some background on this motion that you'd like to make? We have that the item has been moved forward. Is there some, is it background?
Yeah, I think when we had the meeting for public safety, we were talking about having an official representative on CPAC itself. But then as we discussed it at the committee level, we said, wait a minute, our loyalty would be divided if we were members of CPAC, number one. Number two, we can't demand CPAC put one of our members on there. Okay, that's it belongs to the police department. But we can't have, in this case, I've spoken to Anthony, right, because he's the official liaison. So we can go ahead and without his him objecting, we can go ahead and have a liaison. I haven't, and I'm sorry because some people say it's different. But when I say that the liaison would be reporting back to us as to what's happening down in Hollenbeck, the police department, and then we could also give our concerns back to Hollenbeck in terms of what is going on. And that way the loyalty only remains with this body, and it's not divided. Since we won't really be part of CPAC, we'll just be going back and forth. And that's the idea.
That's the thinking behind it.
Yeah.
So I've regularly attended the Central Division CPAC meetings. I'm quite familiar with the structure and purpose of these meetings, and anyone in the community is normally welcome to come and speak and can ask questions, right? Be a part of the discussions and be there. The police department invites people to actually be members, to be, card-carrying members of the CPAC. So whether or not, like you mentioned, they would like us to have a position, someone from our board to formally have a position there is totally up to them. So you're just, to be clear, you're just saying that LA 32 should have a liaison to the committee. But is that really necessary if you just have someone who has an interest who just goes and says, hey, I'm here from the neighborhood council, I'm here from the public safety committee, and I'd like to make a comment or hear, talk about this or that?
I think the idea is to have a regular report. And all the time that we've been here, we've never had a report from CPAC or what's happening in CPAC. And I've seen people attend. I've attended once for some celebration. And what I always start to say is, look, let's have somebody from public safety. But let me also, the committee wanted me to be, as chair, to be that. But as I told folks, I really would not like to do that. I have a retired sister-in-law who's a lieutenant, I have a retired detective, I have two nephews that are LAPD, and I also have a niece that's a sheriff. So I don't think it would be in the best interest for me to be the representative. So somebody else from our committee would be, that was the idea, to get a report back and forth as to what's happening in combat.
Yes.
I have one question, Hugo. Did you want to add that to one of our city reports? So if we would add like a new number, letter? You know how we have city officials come in and everything, would we add that, like the Parks and Rec has a space for reports, would you also like us to add a CPAC report to our agenda?
No, it could actually come from this public safety, because it's coming from public safety. So it's part of public safety.
Okay, so you don't want it to be an agenda item for you solely to do a report? It's just gonna come every month from public safety?
From public safety, when public safety report comes up, whoever it was, either Jose or Angela or both, they can make a report.
Okay, thank you.
Well, why can't you just have Jose Luna go to the CPAC meetings and then come back and report? Why does it need to be memorialized in that item?
Because it's a liaison. Remember, it's the president who's the liaison.
Right.
Unless it's approved otherwise, which I have no opposition from Anthony, and the board approves it, then it's the official liaison from this board.
That's what I was about to say. Even if we approve it, our bylaw still states that the president is the liaison, just like the way when there was comments about LA 32's LAUSC chair to submit the public comment, how somebody was concerned about how is that going to happen, but yet we voted. But yet our bylaw still says that it is the president that does that. Unless we change it in our bylaws, that reads something that we allow that to happen.
This is some unclear territory here for me. It states that the president is supposed to be the liaison for all, formally representing the organizations to different places. So I'm not sure that we can do this. Tom, do you have anything to comment or say?
That's certainly, so the word liaison, because he's a representative of the city, that's to all departments. that's tricky because you guys appointed Jose Luna as the homelessness liaison, right? And then budget advocates, you guys had Michelle and Cynthia before. And then we have there's a sustainability liaison that's out there. So there's all these, so from the city, we asked the board to choose liaisons to come to the different parts of the city. Pretty soon there's going to be a planning liaison. So yeah, it's coming from us. It's coming from us, right? So if you want to be, I guess, consistent for now, as you guys did it earlier, because in the earlier motion, you mentioned that originally you were, as a club chair, was going to, club chair, whatever it is. Club, yes, that chair, that you were going to go and do public comment on behalf of the board, right? But you were corrected in saying that the chair, in your bylaws, the chair is the one that makes the presentations. Right. But I think for you, for your concern is that as long as it just sounds like as long as there's a CPAD report given to the board, it sounds like it could be, that you don't need to designate motion. Well, that motion would be Anthony then, in this case.
Well, it goes back to the idea of like we have a legal aid, right? Right. So the board can approve that. I mean, the board can do that. And as long as there's no opposition from the president who says, excuse me, I'm the official liaison and I don't want, you know what I mean? The board can say this could be the liaison. The idea was to have accountability so that there is a report that comes back from Hollenbeck at least every once in a while as to what's going on.
So we go to the acting chair.
I mean, I believe that anyone who goes, we don't need, when we start to say, have an official liaison, it gets a little bit confusing because, then do it, and then the bylaws, I don't know, we can do this already now. I could go to the CPAB meeting and then come back and report, or you can go, or any one of us could go, and somebody can come back and report. So my sense is we personally think that we should not make appoint an official liaison. Is there any other comments? Any other thoughts on this?
I support it, I just don't want to get a violation. Agreed.
Can we amend it to just say support and appoint a public safety committee member to come back and report instead of it being a liaison?
Committee is the one that put the motion forward when we stand and I can't change it for the committee. We had a whole afternoon of discussion of this stuff. And as a matter of fact, I can tell you, in the discussion, they said, why don't you as the chair go? And I said, I don't want to. Because of the conflicts that could occur. And I even said to them that I would be willing to resign from the committee if it got that bad, you know what I mean?
Maybe it's not that big a deal. Let's go ahead and go for it. Any other public comment? No. Okay, we'll go ahead and vote on it. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Any abstentions? One, two. Abstention? Yes.
Can I vote for myself then?
Yes. 2 abstentions. 2. Okay. The item passes. Hey, it's a school night, so I motion to adjourn. Is there a second? What's that? You got one more?
Motion to extend, yes.
Motion to extend? No.
To 9:15.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
There's a second. Okay. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Anyone opposed? One opposition. Okay. Hey, we're going to 9:15. Till 9:15. Sorry, kids. Can't do your homework tonight. There we go. Item 27. Moving on to item 27. Item 27, motion that LA 32 NC host a coffee with the cops Thursday, July 20th, 2017 at La Cocina, 4989 Huntington Drive, LA 9032, from 2 to 5 p.m. Funds not to exceed $250 for coffee, pastry, snacks, beverages, and food.
I'm on motion.
Second.
Mover in a second. Okay. Any public comment? Yes, sir.
Folks, we live in a new century. Why is it only for cops? First responders is the proper term to use if you're going to have anything for this community. Let's use the term first responders, not cops. Thank you.
Any further comment? I believe coffee with cop is something that the police department has coined, so that's their own event. So it's not nice for us to decide. Is there any other public comment? Anybody? Yes, sir.
I just wanted to share with the committee, also the audience, we did have a coffee with cops over a month ago in the community of Lincoln Heights. And we believe there were more police officers than there were stakeholders. And that was held from 8 to 10. And I see your timetable here is from 2 p.m. to 5 p.m. And I believe the reason why there was more police officials than stakeholders, because at that time, we're the business people at that time. And I even brought it up to the Lincoln Heights Neighborhood Council, which they officially had held it. And they said in the future, they're going to have it at a different time element. So I think this would be a good time, 2 p.m. to 5 p.m. I agree with the board.
Okay, thank you. Any other public comments? Maybe our new liaison can tell the police department that they should change the name of this event. That's something they can work on. But all right, any other comments, public comments, boards? Yes.
It came from outreach, do you want to explain? Because it came from outreach.
I mean, it's pretty self-explanatory, I think. Yeah.
Actually, I'm a little, first the I'm going to make sure that this money is coming from outreach, from the outreach budget. All right, it's not coming from public safety. And somewhere it should be on there that it's coming from the outreach budget. And I think the reason that I'm saying that is because we had a meeting, and at this meeting, public safety and outreach got together, and we were both going to put in $250. But because of this so-called thing of coming in and having to say, to bring and present your motion at the executive committee, it was never brought forth to the executive committee. And I made the assumption wrongly that the person who made that request that we get involved would bring it to the executive committee. But apparently, the person was at the committee, but forgot to bring it up. And so now, unfortunately, for public safety, we're not involved into the budget, but I can assure you we will be there.
Excellent. Thank you. Any other discussion? Okay, is a funding item. Let's go ahead and open the roll.
Aaron Armstrong,
Yes.
Jackie Carrillo,
Yes.
Kathy Dodd,
Absent.
Perla Flores, Miguel Rodriguez,
Yes.
Michelle Sanchez,
Yes.
Karina Cruz,
Yes.
Tom Williams,
Yes.
Cindy Sandoval,
Yes.
Cynthia Sandoval, Hugo Pacheco.
Yes.
Nine ayes, no nays, and no abstentions. Item passes. Item 27 has been approved. Now we're on to item 28. Motion, discussion, possible action that LA 32 board approved an expenditure of $750 to fund National Night Out events in August 2017 within the boundaries of LA 32. Funds will be used by the Public Safety Committee for the purchase of LA 32 National Night Out banner, public safety information literature, as well as the purchase of food refreshments for the event.
I'll move it. I move the motion.
We got a mover in a second. Okay, any public comment?
Wait a minute. Who's moving it? Who's seconding? I'm moving it.
Jackie will move, and Cynthia will second, and we do have public comment. I saw a hand up here for public comment.
Sorry. Who's the public safety chair? Okay. Let's just check on board members. Is $750 going to be enough for public for that national night out?
I have $1,500 in my budget, and I'm just trying to make sure I stay within budget, sir. And a whole year, this one you're gonna out of.
I'd like to support increase the budget to public safety for the national night out. And where is this event going to be held at?
At this point, can I answer these questions? No, I'm not.
Board member, board chair, where is this event going to be held?
We can answer it in board discussion.
Okay, I'll let you like.
All right, and make sure that we only have, last year, I understand there was 2 national nights out in this community. Why can't we just have 1?
Thank you for your public comment. Any other public comment? Any other public comments on this item? Yes, George.
Miguel, what day does that happen fall on?
Tuesday, it's not listed here, huh? It's the first Tuesday in August.
First Tuesday?
August 1st. Now, any discussion? Any Board discussion?
I'd like to amend that we add the date August the 1st, 2016.
August the 1st, so we'd like to amend to have August the 1st. Also, do you know where the location is going to be?
No, location to the, okay, can I go in the background?
No, actually, we got the amendment, sorry about that. We got an amendment here, we got a mover, is there a second? A second? And the amendment is change the item, modify the item so that it reads Tuesday, August 1st, 2017. We're going to add a date to this. Tuesday, August 2017. Now, let's go ahead and, any public comments on amending the item to add the date? Any board discussion?
Yes, I amended it because it's a national holiday and it is on August, the first Tuesday of August, which is on this year, August 1st.
Okay.
It's, everyone does it that night. Everyone comes out and does something in their community, and that would be nice if Ali 32 did it on, we had a date set already. Because when I do submit the event form, after everything hopefully gets approved and ready to go, the public safety will have to give me that event form with their itemized list, and hopefully we don't wait too long. We do it as soon as possible. And it will have a date that you have to put on the event form, so that's why I amended it to put a date, so that date goes on your event form.
Excellent. Thank you. Any other comments?
Just so, I just asked, so Michelle, for items number 20, this all relates, is that all these items are future items?
Yeah, for next fiscal year, not this year.
Okay, so just making sure that you're using for this fiscal year monies, right?
We're ahead of the game. Just make sure you don't get no money.
Comment?
Yeah, the reason that we left it as August is because I went through the computer background, and sometimes it was August 2nd, sometimes, it does say the first Tuesday of August, okay? But I wanted to make sure that we didn't get stuck, and that's why we kept it in August. That was the only idea, because we definitely want to have and participate this year. Because last year we did not have in this area a night out program.
Okay, thank you. Any other board comments? No? Okay, let's vote on the amendment. All in favor of amending this item to include the date, say aye. Aye. Okay, item has been amended. So is there any public comments on the item before us?
Correctly, so who said no?
Any no's? Okay, wait, how many yes? Raise your hand so
So she can count, yeah. We've been here since that, it's her first time. She's
Six,
good.
7, 8. Okay, 8 yes. Any no's? Any abstains? 8-0.
Excellent. Doing a great job. First time.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, the item has been amended. Is there any public comments on the item? No public comment. Any board discussion?
I want to answer a couple of questions. Number one was the location. During the committee meeting, we talked about 3 possible locations, and it's kind of difficult to do 3 locations. The one that kept coming up again is the park right up here. No, the one by the Monterey Hills. On the,
Yes, what?
No, the other one, the Guardia.
Oh, the Guardia, okay.
Okay, so that's the one that we did it in Rose Hills last time. Now, in terms of the money and all that, Anthony Manzano put in $500. Okay, I put in $40. Scott Johnson put an additional amount of money. I'm having Duarte put another $100 on her own.
Remember to keep your comments to the board.
Well, I was trying to answer those stakeholders' questions, right?
You can take it here.
Okay, so that was the idea in terms of what happened last year, because this board decided that they wanted to participate in Hollenbeck, and we want to have something here. So the idea was that at this point, it looks like LaGuardia might be the winner. Can't tell you, don't know. It'll be one more meeting. Second is there was no night out official LA 32 and last year here.
So, any National Night Out, any community members or group can have their own celebration, but it's always a much better celebration if the police department comes out and says, this is the official one. So last year, Hollenbeck Division did theirs right in front of the station, and from what I've heard, they're gonna do it again in front of their station. Let's try to get them and convince them to do it here in El Sereno. That doesn't mean we can't, as a neighborhood council, have our own. So do, or as even individual neighbors do our own, but it sounds like.
I have a question, just for administrative purpose. When Public Safety Committee just turned in their event form, the city clerk is gonna ask for a location, and their event form is not gonna have that, so are we gonna just blindly say anywhere, and then he just gives us any date, whenever?
So maybe we should hold off on this.
That's what I'm saying, we need a location, because the event form, when I submitted, I mean, I'm pretty sure he's probably looking at one now, those chairs that have done the event form, it says the date, the time, location, how many people are expected, everything, you know? So that's why I'm just saying, for administrative purpose, I'll submit it without an address, but it's gonna delay the process where they're gonna want an address eventually, so.
So maybe we should,
I'm fine, I'll
maybe we
support it
should
like that.
hold off on this item until next month, and then we'll have a location by then, and then we can vote on it. We're still well ahead of the game.
I have a question for you.
Yes.
I know how Water Park is, and it's, residential, there's no parking. So, you have to think about parking.
Okay, and kind of goes along with what we're saying. We still got one more month of public safety meeting so that we can determine whether it's going to be that or locations or one location. And I would suggest that if somebody asks, I'm not opposed to you guys sending emails and letting me know individually where you think we ought to have this. Okay? But we have a very open committee. So we still got one more month to determine the location before the actual funding of the event. Is that correct? What would be the last time that I could submit this information to get the money?
Well, in the past, there has been other chair committees that actually we have voted to be announced on the location, and we voted like that, and then the chair just, before they gave me their event form, they put on that. So, I mean, it could be done, I'm just saying, administrative-wise, when you give me the paperwork, I need an address. I mean, we could vote on it just the way it reads, like the way they want it, and that's fine. But just when it comes to, when I get the paperwork, I need the location already.
So let's
hold on. So,
I would like to have the money to
Now.
get going, to
You want
absolutely say we're gonna go, because we're gonna have, we need to talk to the park director, we need to talk to all that stuff. And if I have to wait another month to see maybe or maybe you won't get the money,
So you want us to support it?
I want to support it at the location. I saw another one that said to be announced.
Yeah,
I was
you're right.
just gonna suggest that we put to be announced, but it's not on your motion, so it has to be amended to say to
Is
be
it
announced.
location or locations? If you-
It should still say TBA, because it's not giving a specific whether you're gonna determine it or announce it.
All right, so let's just vote on it, let's see how it goes, and then we gotta change something, so we'll change it on the fly. Funding item, any other public comments? Yes?
I know I've already spoken this, but to show pride in our community, can we think about having it at Veterans Square? It'll show pride, when people look going up and down Huntington Drive, that we do have pride. And that National Night Out is very important to us. And that would be a good location, Veterans Square.
That's a very good suggestion. Okay, let's go.
Come to the committee and talk about it, because we got restroom problems on that.
Open the roll.
Okay, Aaron Oshner,
Yes.
Jarvis Carrillo,
Yes.
Kathy Stein, Perla Forrest.
Yes.
Miguel Vargas.
Yes.
Michelle Santos.
Yes.
Karina Cruz.
Yes.
Tom Williams.
Yes.
Cynthia Sandoval. Yes. And Julio Pacheco.
Yes.
900, item is approved. I'd like to make a motion to adjourn.
Vice President,
What's that?
can we extend
These items are months in advance. Do we really need to hear them tonight?
Yes, sir.
Kids, they gotta do homework tonight.
Quick and fast.
All right. What are we doing? 15 minutes? 15 more minutes. 9:30. Okay, here we go. Motion to approve, to extend by 15 minutes. Is there a second? We have a second. All in favor, say aye. Aye. We got another 15 minutes. Here, let's do this thing. Here we go. 29, motion that LA 32 co-sponsor with Councilman Huizar for annual movie night at the park, August 5th, $400. Would someone like to move this forward?
I would like to move LA 32 and see co-sponsor with Councilman Huser for annual movie night at Australian Park. August 5th to purchase snacks and drinks up to and not to exceed $400. Sports and Rec Committee have met on this, and we would like to co-sponsor.
Second. For second, any public comment? Public comment, any board discussion?
Other than making sure that this is sports and recs budget, right? Okay. I just want to make sure when I'm to the business.
We actually wanted to put like from what committee, but Anthony didn't want that. Anthony told us, don't put that, I want to see that.
How do you know what budget is coming from?
That's what
We told the same thing.
we told the same thing.
We'll sort that out later.
We'll sort it out at the next.
Any other comments? Any other board comments? Any board comments? Okay, let's open the roll. Let's vote on this item.
Aaron Ostrom.
Yes.
Jackie Carrera.
Yes.
Perla Flores. Miguel Vargas.
Yes.
Michelle Constantes.
Yes.
Karina Cruz.
Yes.
Tom Williams.
Absent.
Absent. Cynthia Sandoval. Yes. Diego Pacheco.
Yes.
800, item passes. Excellent. Next item, item 30, motion that LA 32NC co-sponsor with Aslan Athletics for September 23rd, 5K Ascot Hill Challenge. Purchase snacks, fruit, granola bars, bottled water, gallon water, power Gatorade, ice, small cups. Up to and not to exceed $500. Would somebody like to move this item? We have a motion to move the item forward and a second. Is there any public comment? Yes, sir.
Can you report, let me know, who's this group?
Sit right behind you.
Oh, okay, because I never heard of it, that's why.
They're the ones that put on the 3 Aslan events at the Ascot Hills for the last 3
Okay,
years.
that's all I just wanted to know, because I never heard of the group.
So, yes, that's them. Any other public comments? Any other public comments? Any board discussion? Yes.
Yeah, and just to inform you, I've been involved with the Aslan Track Club since 1978, so they've been around for a while.
You got your running shoes in there?
Yeah.
Still have your short shorts?
I have my marathon bag.
Is it a marathon?
Are you going to run?
I'm 50 years old. 65 now.
Okay, let's go. Here we go. Any other board discussion? Okay, let's vote on the item. Open the roll.
She's going fast.
Aaron Ostrom.
Yes.
Jackie Carrera.
Yes.
Kathy Perla Flores.
Yes.
Miguel Vargas.
Yes.
Michelle Constantes.
Yes.
Karina Cruz.
Yes.
Tom Williams. Absent. Cynthia Sandoval.
Yes.
Diego Pacheco.
Yes.
800, item passes. Moving on.
Was that sports and recreation budget?
Yes, it is.
Correct.
Good, you're-
All right, moving on. Item 31, motion that LA 32NC co-sponsor with East ESCA for the annual LA Student Theater with Muertos event, October 21st, 2017, from 3 p.m. to 10 p.m. Location is Huntington Drive in Portola. Fund up to not to exceed $500 for free children's community activity group. Somebody
Like to motion, move forward. Sorry, I'm
a mover and a second. Any public comments?
You dog's gonna get up. Two things on this thing, what's the ESCA, what is that?
What's the Red Mountain Community Arts Group?
Oh,
You
okay.
guys have to let the president.
Oh, sorry.
Any
It
other-
doesn't matter, I can see perfectly. Second of all, can somebody tell me why it's being held on October 21st? When the real day of Dia de los Muertos is November 1st? Once again, we have 4th of July in June, we're gonna have an event that's not even fall on the date. Thank you.
We'll discuss that in discussion. Any other public comment? Any board discussion?
We're not sure why ESCA is asking it to be on October 21st, but in the past, they've already been, this is their 7th annual, I think. Their 7th annual Dia de los Muertos, and they choose the date. So if the question for that is why that day, I don't know, maybe you have to attend one of their meetings and ask them that. We're just co-sponsoring.
Yeah, it is 21st is a Saturday, and the first falls on Wednesday. So in fact, one of the factors why. chose that date. Okay, any other board discussion?
Yeah, I was gonna ask, first of all, whose budget is this coming from? Arts and Culture. Arts and Culture, okay. The other thing is, last year, were we involved in another location? We were involved in another, I thought we were involved in another location.
There was
the other-
two locations.
It was a Catholic school, wasn't it?
Yes, maybe Guadalupe, right? Is that gonna come back up? No, not this year? Okay, all right, just that's all.
Okay. Any other items, any other discussion? All right, this is a funding item. Let's get the roll call.
Aaron Ostrom,
Yes.
Secretario,
Yes.
Perla Torres.
Yes.
Miguel Vargas.
Yes.
Michelle Crisantes.
Yes.
Karina Cruz. Cynthia Sandoval. Diego Pacheco.
Yes.
800, order passes. Item 32, motion that LA 32 NC hosts their second annual Halloween event, October 31st at La Cocina, 4989 Huntington Drive, from 3 p.m. to 7 p.m. Fun not to exceed $500 for chocolate bars, candy, Halloween pails, or similar items to be given away to children.
I second it for you.
We got a motion and a second. Okay, any public comment? Yes, sir.
Yeah, don't think. Okay. Look, there's only like a handful of us, and you guys are still going on. On this regards to this, why is this event being held in the same place we have other events? Why can't we use some other place for a location for this? It looks like we're giving out business to these individuals. I like to see it moved. Second of all, well, chocolate bars. Do you know how many our kids are obese in this community? Their kids are diabetic. You want to give them chocolate? Come on, think of healthy things. Check with the local dentist and get packages that have floss, toothbrushes to give to our kids. That is not a stupid idea because South Pasadena residents do that because they have a lot of pride and they're tired of seeing their kids with dental work obese and diabetic. Come on, folks. Chocolate bars is ridiculous.
Thank you. Any other public comments? Any board discussion? Yes, that's a really good idea to have dental floss, things like that. So, do we know? Yes, you know.
You know, I'm a believer that when the committee submits, unless it's something really, really terrible about the motion, you know, you should just support it. I too am just kind of sorry about the candy, but.
That's what Halloween's about.
Candy?
I was there, I went to the event last year, and those are the biggest Kit Kats I've ever seen.
Yeah. All right. Let's open the roll on this item.
Aaron Ostrom.
Yes.
Jackie Guerrero.
Yes.
Perla Torres.
Yes.
Miguel Vargas.
Yes.
Michelle Crisantes.
Yes.
Yes. Cynthia Sandoval.
Yes.
Diego Pacheco.
Yes. What committee?
Arts and Culture.
800, item passes. Item 33, motion that LA 32 NC hosts their second annual movie night with Santa Claus event, December 15th, 6 to 9 p.m. Here at the El Sereno Senior Center. Funds not to exceed $500 for the children's holiday movie, popcorn, beverages, snacks, and giveaways to the children. Somebody like to?
I move the motion that LA 32 hosts second annual movie night with Santa Claus, December 15th, 6 to 9, here, El Sereno Senior Center, and fund up to the not to exceed $500 for children, holiday movie, popcorn, beverage, snacks, and giveaways to children.
Okay, we have a motion and a second on any public comment? You just got to stand up there.
Yeah. First of all, you're having this event that's good for the kids. $500. But why isn't item 33 and 34 together? You come back and you ask for $650 more for flyers. That's just make it all. Ask for one amount. I mean, you're going to be voting on the same thing. You should have combined it together and asked for one amount instead of coming back and asking to give $650 for annual movie night with Santa Claus, $650 more for the flyers.
Any board discussion?
I would like an answer as to why. And I don't think, I did have that question when we were back at the executive committee meeting. Why do we have an additional item to an event? I mean, is that what we're allowed to do? Is that what we're allowed to do?
Let's ask that.
The thing is that if we put item number 32 and 33, they're two different events for two different times, for two different locations, with two different items. And city clerk does not allow us to submit paperwork with two items. It's one event form per event. And if we vote on those together, let's say we make 32 and 33 to one big lump sum amount, maybe he doesn't want to support the Halloween, but yet he wants the Christmas. That was just an example, not that I'm purposely using it. But let's say he wants to support one but not the other, but then he's kind of caught in the middle where I'm not gonna vote, so he doesn't get to vote or abstain because he wants to support one, not the other. This way, it gives us an opportunity to vote individually. And I mean, if that's the case, then let's just add up all these items and vote for a whole lump sum amount. That's the whole purpose. Each committee is bringing separate items, because that's the way it's been done. That's the way it's been practiced. You know, putting them together is not gonna work. It's not gonna happen, and it just doesn't make sense.
That was a question.
Yeah, he said putting them together, to vote for them together for.
No, we're talking about the flyers.
Oh, we're not even on that one, we're on 33.
No, that was the question, is why are we having, why are we having?
Oh, I'll answer,
Vote on 33.
yeah, I was answering to 33. I guess I'll answer to 34 when we get to.
No, you see,
We just want a clarification.
Oh, sorry, are we on 33 or 34?
33.
Oh, okay, so then.
But his comments were more about.
Or 34.
34.
Oh,
So let's stay on topic 33.
yeah, but again, let's go back to 34.
We're not.
Yeah, 33. It's $500, right? Why is not the other half of $650 included in 33, that comes with 34, and the other half of $650 into 32? Why are we having an additional motion?
So these are, this funding comes from different committees. That's the reason why. And not to mention, it's just cleaner for the city clerk and the city to see the amount of, it's not all lumped together. And it's more itemized this way.
Different committee.
When we get to 34, we'll explain why it's on there.
All right, any other board discussion? Item 33, let's vote on it, it's a funding item.
Aaron Ostrom,
Yes.
Jackie Carrillo,
Yes.
Carla Flores, Miguel Vargas,
Yes.
Charlotte Santos.
Yes.
Karina Cruz. Cynthia Sandoval.
Yes.
Diego Pacheco.
Yes. Thank you.
800, item passes, moving on. Item 34, would somebody like to move this item forward?
I'd like to move forward, motion that LA 32 and C fund up to not exceed $650 for 10,000 flyers, 5,000 flyers, LA 32 and C, second annual Halloween event, and the 5K flyers for the annual movie night with Santa Claus.
Money for flyers.
What was it? On 33, what was that?
Second.
Horticulture,
And what, this is from where?
outreach, 34 is going to be from outreach.
34 from outreach, is there public comments? Public comment, you're up. Just take the mic to,
Well, folks,
We
it's
enjoy your
9:30.
comments. Thank you
We
so
should,
much.
it's 9:30, we should have to adjourn with the rest of the agenda for next
It's a
time.
motion.
It's a motion.
The motion's on the
Yeah,
table, come on, you guys
yeah,
take the
motion.
vote.
all right, thank you for your comments. Any other topics? Any other comments, board comments? Okay, it's a funding item, let's go ahead and vote on this.
Aaron Ostrom,
Yes.
Jackie Carrillo,
Yes.
Carla Flores, Miguel Vargas.
Yes.
Charlotte Santos.
Yes.
Karina Cruz.
Yes.
Cynthia Sandoval.
Yes.
Diego Pacheco.
They want to do it? Yes.
8-0.
Take your money.
Item passes 800. It is, the time is now 8:30.
9:30.
I'm sorry, 9:30.
10 o'clock.
Motion to adjourn, is there a motion to
You
adjourn?
guys want to talk about the grievances?
Wait, what did you say?
Did you guys want to do the grievances?
No.
The person grieving isn't here, is he?
No, he's not even here.
No, but wait a minute, that's not the point. The point is it's on the agenda. If we want to look at it, we can. We have a video recording of it.
Well, you could make a motion, huh? You want to make a motion?
Well, we would have to close the meeting another 10 minutes.
No, let me just give me one, okay? So right now for your agenda, item, this is the agreements, I think the Ruben Chavez.
Yeah, we have all the
submitted,
attachments
okay?
in your packet.
Well, number one, number 37, you got my email already, that's being tabled already, so you don't even have to do a motion for that, okay? 35, item agenda 36 will depend on what you do with number 35. So the only thing that you're not going to be hearing agreements right now, but if you go forward with suggestion I, is to consider the grievance in accordance with the grievance process. You follow the grievance process, which is that you choose. I think in the past we had.
Oh, just to give an answer to the policy department, right? Because we don't have to discuss it, we're just.
No.
We have 60 days.
Right, but your grievance process is that you find two board members and two interested stakeholders. Not, so I know you guys kind of like you put, I think someone as a grievance chair, but there's no chair. So keep that in mind, okay? You're not discussing right now, so that's, put that in.
Yeah, but I know what you're saying, 35 is just to let the policy department know that we're either gonna take on that grievance or give it back to Empower Link.
Yeah,
I see what you're
so
saying.
then,
And we have 60 days, if you look at attachment F, it says on the bottom, we have 60 days.
Okay, but that's just, but then if you just keep that in mind, but if you do go forward, you don't have to do it today, but keep in mind, if there's two interested board members who wants to do this, and also two stakeholders, okay?
Thank you. Because my wife, she said a list of panel.
Is there a motion to adjourn? A motion to adjourn. What do we want to hear this out?
No, motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
We have 60 days to respond to Empower Link, so we're fine.
Second, and I second it.
Marina second to adjourn.
Yeah.
Okay, a lot of people are working, so you need to, you can explain to them. Okay, let's try to. Wait.
No. Marco was.
This is Aaron.
I'll scan it to you and.
You're not talking.
Yeah, you're in my email. So I'll keep the hard copy, Aaron. Did you want a copy for yourself or do you have? Okay, because I'm gonna put this on.
Oh, does somebody turn this off?
Oh, not this part cable, just that other one.